You know, like there are levels to all types of industries and work that we're in. And when you get higher and higher, you find yourself in rare air and in the circle of people that want it just as badly as you do. Like you do. Like savages find savages. And under that, you won't really find savages.
I think this is really beautiful and kind of you. You're like, don't look up to that guy.
I'm not saying don't look up to him.
No, but you're like, you're doing the same thing. So like,
and what I'm saying is that beauty is in the work, and both of you are doing the work, and you're not doing it. Your motivations for doing all the things you're doing, Hyrox and ultras, like you're not doing it to inspire. Despite you saying that, I think you're doing it because you want to challenge.
I want to do it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I want to see what I can do.
That's what I'm saying,
and it just happens to inspire.
And it happens to inspire.
Okay, so.
I Am Consciously Curious, a podcast for those that are searching for meaning and fulfillment in their lives. My name is Victor Chan, and I'm on a mission to find out why people do what they do. I've interviewed white-collar to blue-collar, entrepreneurs to passion projects, and life is just too short to not produce meaningful work. Thanks for tuning in. We are trying to optimize our life, and like we're strategizing, we're implementing, and you almost just forget to live.
100%. And like, I know I'm a optimizer for sure, but you know, there are people who naturally fall into the category of discipline, and I think that if it doesn't fit you, don't force it, right?
Yeah. When trying to take on something new, it has to fit your lifestyle.
Yeah. Like if something not disciplined things will raise my cortisol.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I like discipline and optimization.
Yeah.
But if everything is like chaotic and it's like inconsistent, for me, that's cortisol raising.
Yeah.
But for some people, being disciplined and trying to stick to discipline,
that's cortisol raising.
Is cortisol. They're stressed out because that's not their natural disposition. So I believe in dispositions.
But dispositions can be learned, can be built.
They can.
It takes time, but it can.
Does.
I think,
it does. But I also think that there's still genetic components.
Yeah. Natural tendencies.
Yeah, natural tendencies. But even like with athleticism, right?
Yeah.
And so people get all this stress is to have a certain body, lift a certain, amount. Even yoga poses, people are like, it should look like this. People's joints don't fit the same way in their body, right? Some people are valgus, right?
And the
their
length
knees
of our
come
limbs,
length of your limbs, how the ball and socket joint fit. You know this as an EMT. So forcing certain movements or positions in a body that doesn't move that way is bad, but also it stresses the person out that they can't look like that. So it's cortisol. So now you're in yoga trying to de-stress.
It's causing more stress.
And you're stressed because you're like, I can't do warrior 2 like that. I can't push my knee all the way back. I can't get this really wide stance. And then you work out all the time. You can't hold your arms up here forever. You're like...
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me when you walked in. Like that was the last time we saw each other. Like my first and last class with you.
It's okay.
And you didn't know that it was my first class back.
No.
From surgery, and as you would, as I would, if someone I knew could handle the pressure of like, what are you doing? Like, you can do more, like, put on more weight or do you're not doing it.
Do the burpees.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do jujitsu, so I'm like, you tapping out on burpees?
That's funny, because like I did not start jujitsu. I started it 3 months ago now. I started it this year.
So I was just used to you being strong.
No. Yeah. So it's like friendly pressure, and that's something that as an instructor myself, I appreciate. I would do that to someone that I felt like could handle it, and you just didn't know. And that being said, it's like, lots have changed since then.
That's true.
For you and I, and something that I admire about you is your ability to remain present. And the way I measure your ability to remain present is your ability to recall the events as they happened. And as someone that is stretched in a million different ways, your ability to remember every event as it plays out tells me that you have a good ability to stay present in whatever you're doing, like 100% all in at the task at hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So I was helping a friend edit a novel, and then I got like mad at them. And then I was like, I'm not going to talk to this person again. But because I said I would help edit this novel, I was really stressed out because I like to finish tasks, right? Like, not like to finish tasks, but I'm a person that, like, if I say I'm going to do something.
Follow through.
Yeah, I follow through. Because integrity. It's my integrity. And so that stresses me out. Like, so if I'm present, if I say I'm going to do something with you, then we're going to do that thing, right?
Yeah.
And so if I'm teaching a class and I'm here for you, and I say that, like, I'm teaching the class, I am here for you, I 100% mean that.
Yeah. Was there ever a time, because I know I have a memory that an experience where I was not 100% all in, and I was so ashamed by it that it's like fully burned into my memory, and it's something that has motivated me to show up early every time.
Yes. So during Hyrox World at Navy Pier, my cat had got a UTI, and it was $8,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was back and forth to the vet, and I also had been distracted by some other stuff, and I had only slept 5 hours. And then during the World Championship, I was doing the sled pull with my partner Katrina, who is Mara's mom. Mara teaches at Barry's.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm doing the sled pull, and all of a sudden I thought about my cat, and all my strength left me, and she had to take over on the sled pull in the middle of it. She was like, I got it, and just start pulling, right? So that is really burned into my head, that not to be distracted, right?
That's hard.
So now I really, now it's like a new optimization that I realize, like, distractions really can harm you, harm like what you're trying to accomplish. So for me, I'm trying to not take away all of them, but minimize the ones that aren't important.
So you're saying distractions can harm you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay. They can harm
Just
you.
imagine you as an AMT and you're doing this thing.
100%.
And you think about your cat with a UTI, and you like slip, Yeah.
I mean,
chop somebody
a
up
neurosurgeon, it's just like, how do you, and funny enough, sometimes they're playing, they're like, what music do you want to listen to today? And sometimes like that's what puts them in the zone though.
Yeah. Focus in. Yeah. So like that was a moment where it's like not honing in, just it's burned into my brain.
Yeah. Well, that's because you care about your teammates so much that you don't want to let them down.
Yeah. And there was so many people that showed up.
Yeah. For you guys.
Lululemon was all of Lululemon was there. All of Katrina's family was there. A bunch of my friends were there. And and I felt like I didn't show up at that moment because I let myself be distracted.
Man.
Instead of just knowing, like, the cat is okay because the cat was at veg.
Yeah.
So the cat's okay. The nurses are there.
It's like you're human.
I paid
though.
the
That's
extra
human.
money to be like,
to put them up.
Yeah. It was like,
they're taken care of.
Well, the cat was on a kidney machine, but and I probably shouldn't have went in before Hyrox because it was the bag with all the blood and stuff and on the machine. And when I came in there, he knew like something was wrong, and he's meowing and trying to hug me, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I went over to Navy Pier, and then that image came up, and everything, like my whole body just kind of like left. I wasn't even there. for a second.
Yeah.
But that moment burned into my brain because it was like a moment of a person who thinks they're disciplined.
Yeah.
That I felt like I didn't have control.
You're human. That's human. You're not a machine.
You know, but I want to be a machine.
Yeah, that you know, like the analogy of tightening the links in a chain, kind of like preparing for a deadlift.
Yeah.
Like that's what comes to mind. But that being said, like in jiu-jitsu, instructors are telling me to be fluid and to be flexible, and that I am too rigid, and that it's a very reactive game, similar to chess. It's like there are a million. You're playing against a dynamic person, so like your next move depends on their next move, and they have hundreds of options to go from, and so that's like the mental game and the physical game is what's very appealing to many jiu-jitsu practitioners. And so, but the opposite of like needing to remove any spaces in the link for a deadlift is what is the initial analogy that came to mind when you're trying to be in the zone mentally.
I think that there's still a lot of discipline within that, right? Because you're disciplined to focus intensely on what this other person is doing, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like, so when I went to Japan, I went and shot Japanese war bows. Those things are big. They're like 6 feet tall. And you pull, not like we pull here where you pull here. You're pulling from up high. You're pulling the bamboo first and then everything down.
Interesting.
Right. And so you're focusing on the bow. You're holding 2 arrows. There's a whole stance thing you got to do. You're focusing on the target. But it's still not rigid, right? You're still having this fluid motion, just locking in, right? And I think the same with jiu-jitsu or any martial arts. You're still disciplined, but you're able to move with fluidity because you're so focused.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Like I was out of body, so that meant like I wasn't disciplined as I'm moving with my fluidity to still be locked into the thing at hand. Yeah. It was like I left.
Yeah.
I left.
Yeah. It's and then the ability to stay present comes from also like knowing the playing field.
Yeah.
So like in jiu-jitsu, I'm still getting used to the verbiage. Like what's everything called? And right? And then like I don't know where my partner, what they can do next. I don't know what they can do next. So like I'm just trying to survive in a way. And it's like hard to stay clear-headed when you don't even know what all the dots are yet. So like there's a saying that I don't know if we talked about Francis Almeida last time, but he has all the like the novel pizza, the side practice, Del Sur Bakery.
Yes.
But Francis had a quote that goes like, and he probably, I don't know where he got it from, but like ABCD to ABCD. So it's like always be collecting dots to always be connecting dots.
Oh, I love that.
And so I'm definitely obviously in the collecting dots phase.
Yeah.
And once you've reached that phase and mastered that phase, you're starting to connect all the dots.
Okay, I love that because, I was collecting dots that day. No, but
picking them off the ground.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And like with jiu-jitsu, right? Like you also don't know. It's especially if you're gonna go compete somewhere. You don't know how they learned.
Yeah.
You don't even know how much they really put into the practice. So I can see for you, like, now you're thinking not just of how you're moving and how they're moving, but you're thinking about how much, time they've put into the practice. How much do they know?
Yeah.
How much power they have between their stuff. And try not to be distracted by that while you're like, but see, that's what I mean by the distraction. That's a distraction.
Yeah, that's true.
Wondering if, like, do they hit really hard?
Whereas just focusing on yourself.
Just focusing on yourself and your movement and how you're responding.
Yeah. That's all you can do, right? Asking the best of yourself.
Yeah.
Like that, once I've met people that would put in 2 classes a day for 5 days a week for years. It's like, wow, like that's discipline and commitment. I don't have that right now. But it's almost liberating in the sense of like, stop comparing yourself to someone like that. They're obviously going to be leaps and bounds ahead of you.
Yeah.
They're in their own lane. Like, stay in your own lane. Like, this is doing it for you.
Yeah. How did you feel the first time you were thrown on the floor?
Oh, yesterday I was thrown like, it hit that spot where like your like spine gets like shook. And you had to take like at least a 30-second pause of like, I'm okay. Like, but like, it felt like, is everything okay? Like, I just like, your soul just like left your body real quick. No, but thrown, I guess, harder than I should have. We're just like practicing technique, and like he went a little too hard, and that's why, like, you know, no matter where you go, and he wasn't, it's not to his fault. It's just like, we're just practicing. But wherever you go, feel free to say no whenever someone asks, you want to roll? Like, you want to go? And it's like, if you don't feel comfortable rolling with a certain individual, then just say no. You know, you don't have to. And thankfully, a lot of the colored belts at this school know just how much resistance to give you, like just enough to where it's challenging, but not overly challenging. Because what are you going to get out of it if they submit you in 30 seconds? Like, they're not going to get anything out of it, and you're not going to get anything out of it. So a colored belt would learn more by putting themselves in tighter situations, like where they get close to being submitted, but that provides a challenge for them, and then it provides a challenge for me in the sense of like, I rarely submit anyone, right? So it's it's a win-win for both. So the very first time you were, did you get mad? Like, how did you feel? No, I was. Were you like, oh my God? No, like, just what? That. Yeah, a little shook, but like I'm typically a very agreeable and understanding individual. Okay. Sometimes maybe, I don't know if you can be too understanding. I don't know if that's such a thing where, and that's probably along the same vein of like a people pleaser. Yeah. But like the ability to empathize and see multiple perspectives and point of views. Would you say you're a people pleaser, or it happened and then you took it as a lesson? That you learned from it, that you were like, okay, I'm also like, I moved this way, and so then they did this, and so, okay, like, how do I learn from this, and let's do this again. I'm also the type of person to take accountability no matter how much of their fault it might have been. So I don't know if you're a people pleaser. You might be empathetic, and you might be taking everything in as a lesson, and not allowing yourself to like be angry or have revenge. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're a people pleaser. Oh. A people pleaser would be like, okay, you can just throw me around. You know, no. Okay, I see what you mean. I wouldn't have thought of it like that, though. I guess in a simpler sense, I get sometimes gratification from helping other people. Okay. Or seeing other people win at sometimes the cost of me. But it gives you gratification. So it is not really at the cost of you. Right. Because you're gaining feeling good about what you did. Now, here, to go like one step further into the metaverse, it's like, why is that gratifying to me? Like, what in my psyche do I think I'm getting from seeing someone else win like that? To inspire someone else, I mean, to have that same kind of moral compass, integrity. That's the pure wholesome perspective. Yeah. There could be definitely a selfish, component 100%. To it. It makes you feel good. Like, I rescue the people who post on Instagram, like, no shame, right? Yeah. But like, I rescued, this dog out the gutter, and they had a video camera somehow, somewhere across the thing, miraculously a video camera that shows them climbing into this thing to like get this into the sewer out. And like, and everybody's like, oh my God, I love you, you're so great, and blah 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 blah. So people do get gratification off of like feeling good about doing good. Similar to those videos, those accounts where they like, they're generous, and they give either it's like $1 or a mystery gift, and it's just like, and you're making someone's day. Or I love those videos where you pick up migrant workers from like Home Depot.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're looking for work? They're all like that. Like 5 of them are like, yes, we're like, take me anywhere.
Yeah.
Like $200 a day. And then they take them to like Six Flags or Disney World, and they have a day, a place that they've probably never been to, but have always dreamed of. And on top of that, they still give them the $200.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, some people are like, did you have to show that on a video? And it's just like, these people are just insufferable. I don't know. It's like, those videos probably bring either joy and inspiration to other people. And
it does.
Maybe inspiration to continue giving back to other people.
It does. There's like a twofold thing to it, right? No, there is. Like, influencer versus inspire.
Yeah.
And that to me, they're completely different things, right?
Yeah. I think we might have differing views. I don't think they're the same. I agree that they're different, but in the sense of, and I still think you don't do either. I think, and I think you would agree with me with this, is that you are unapologetically living your truth, and inspiration and sometimes influence are byproducts of that. Like, people are inspired by your discipline and commitment and energy and what you put out into this world. They're inspired by that. And I don't think, tell me if I'm wrong, that's your main goal. I don't think your main goal is to do that. I think your main goal is to live the best life you can possibly live. And people are inspired by that.
Okay, I admit that. And sometimes, yes, I'm not just saying I admit that. This is true. I do struggle with it.
Okay.
Because I know that it costs me spaces that I could be in and make more money. It costs me being put in front of others to maybe, people that I haven't touched to tap into their own truth. That it costs me places like that because I am authentic, that I'm not coming in the room and being like, oh my God, you are so great, and you're laying down the entire class. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that person.
No.
And so I struggle with it, even internally. Like, there's places I teach at. There's really only one place I teach at where people are literally talking. You're talking.
Yeah.
In the middle of class.
And how long are these classes? 45 minutes?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. And like, is it still like 20 minutes into the class, people are still talking?
Still talking. Having full-blown conversation about kids
cackling.
And all these things. Yeah, and loud. And I understand, like, this may be the only time they get to be social and, get time maybe away from their day or out of their house. But you can have lunch and go to the cafe or go somewhere and go do that and have a coffee and not,
disrupt other people's experiences. And
yeah, because this is somebody else's class too,
yeah.
Right? And, I struggle with that a little bit. Typically, I don't say anything because I'm trying to be empathetic, but it does go against like my authenticity and how I feel. Yeah, so I will say I do
if you were to speak up, I guess how would you do it? Because there's probably a harsh way to do it, and then a polite way to do it. I don't know. There's how would you do it?
I mean, I don't really know polite. I mean, I guess I would just be like, I love you. You guys are so great.
Yeah.
But, I don't want you to interrupt other people's thing. So if you can, like, just work out and then go get coffee after.
Yeah. That's fair.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like people would be annoyed.
People would be offended by that?
They would be still offended, yeah. Because people don't want to be called out, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because I live in my truth. And I want to distinguish, like, my truth isn't the truth, right?
No, yeah.
And so, because I live in my truth, that when somebody tells me I'm actually doing something that's not right, Like, I want to be better, so I listen. I'm so open to feedback. Now, if you're saying some, can I swear?
Yeah.
If you're saying some bullshit to me about working out and you don't work out yourself, like, I'm probably gonna like be like, okay, you know, inside be like, what are they talking about? And not receive that feedback.
Yeah.
I won't be offensive.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna receive that feedback. You know. But if you're giving me feedback and I'm really like not in the right, I listen. You can ask some of my managers, because I've said some crazy stuff, and they're like, yo, that was way out of line. And I'll think about what I said and I'm like, no, that was completely out of line. But a lot of people, if you give them feedback, they don't want to be called out.
Yeah.
And so they get offended. And in my mind, those people don't want to be better.
That's
you don't want to be
unfortunate.
better.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting offended by real feedback, like, you know, how do you grow?
We're all there to grow.
That's what mentors are for. Mentor, I think people confuse a mentor with just like telling you things or teaching you things, not a person that you're having dialogue with or Socratic dialogue with, right? That there's this back and forth about what you're discussing and how do you come to a resolution of what the feedback is, how you can get better. That's a true mentor. They're not just like telling you things or just listening to you and agreeing.
Yeah. Well, maybe, and I'm a fan of your call outs, but maybe during class, a call out, they feel like there's no room for a discussion. It's one way.
Sure.
Right. So like in that sense, but in the sense of call outs, I want to shed light on when you call someone out. I think for some people, they feel seen. And in a way, that might be why some people like your classes, is because like you notice what people are doing and not doing.
So I have a saying, and I'm always worried like people gonna steal this, but it's okay. I have people steal a lot of my things, and like it's not
where does it all come from?
Se.
It's like
it's not stealing per se, but they try to literally deliver it the same way I do.
But who's living it and who's not, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
But I have a saying, savages find savages, right? I say that all the time. Warriors find warriors. Like, those people will stay in my class. Like, I am ripping people up. And not like in a negative way, but somebody actually videoed me. I'll ask her for the video and send it to you. We were doing an exercise, and the guy stopped like 15 seconds before the end of it.
Okay.
15, 20 seconds before the end of it. And he still could have got in like 5 reps or more, right? And I turned off the music, and now I'm worried about like people videoing when I'm saying things. And I said to him, "Is that what you do?" And you could see in her video, everybody is looking over at me next to him. I said, "Is that what you do? You give up before the finish line."
Oh my God.
That's what you do in your whole life. You give up before you finish anything. You never cross the finish line, because that's what you do. You give up before it. And this is on video, right?
Oh my God.
So I was like, oh my God. And then she posted it on Instagram and tagged me, and I didn't know she videoed it, and I watched it, and I was like, I'm not going to repost it. Yeah.
Wasn't your proudest moment?
Yeah, actually, he messaged me and was like, "Thank you for calling me out. That's why I need you in my life. I need you as a trainer."
Wow.
Because you knew I could do more reps. And because I feel like I'm the strongest person in the gym, I felt like, oh, if I want to put the weights down because I'm the strongest, I could put them down and take a break. I don't have to do those last like 10 seconds, right? Because I'm always working hard. But I'm like, no, working hard is not enough. Working harder. If hard is your like normal, then you're not pushing your own boundary. You're not pushing your own limits. You're not even seeing what your own limits are. Like, if you gas and you literally can't do that last rep, different. But he was like, no, you're right.
And what was your relationship to him prior to that?
He's a friend of mine, and yeah, he's a friend of mine, and we're gonna do some Hyrox training.
Right, so that's what
I would never do that to a stranger.
Okay.
No,
So interesting.
No, I wouldn't do that to a stranger because I don't know their life.
But to a stranger watching that, she's like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, everybody looked, and I was like, "Oh," but it was good for me to see that video.
Okay,
because it made me realize that, like, and like you said, I'm present.
Yeah.
So I'm present. I was with the room.
Yeah.
And then I saw him stop and my gaze just shifted over there. And then I was present. It was me and him in the room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I know you're stronger than that. And you stopped when you could have gave yourself that. You could have gave yourself. You're giving it to yourself. That extra 5 reps of strength.
What if you said it like that just now?
I mean,
right?
I think it just sounded crazy.
Hindsight's 2020, but like, yeah. There's always like a palatable version, like in a
you're right.
a softer
I didn't have
version.
To be like, you give up on your whole life.
This is why you never finish in life.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. I saw that video and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, it's very mature.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm sorry. I also was like, after he messaged me, I was like, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I knew you could just do more.
We're friends. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, we're friends. We're totally friends.
Yeah, it's that's so cool to hear.
For my jobs that I work at, and I did that at. Please don't fire me.
Well, I mean, you're a week into Studio 3 now.
I am Studio 3.
Studio 3. Was it bittersweet leaving Corepower? You were there as a student and instructor. Was it almost 15
years?
Yeah. Wow. Like you outgrow places, right? Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah. I mean, you do, but also I'm always telling my students to be brave and to explore themselves and to challenge themselves and get uncomfortable. And here I am, comfortable in a place I've been teaching at for 11 years.
Wow.
I'm chilling. Right? I'm comfortable.
Like you could do this in your sleep. Yeah.
I literally said that. I was like, I could go in a room blindfolded and be in a handstand.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can't be in a handstand for an hour, but I'm just being exaggerating. Like, I could teach the class literally blindfolded, cue through everything, run through everything without looking at anybody, right? And that's comfortability when you don't have to like gauge so much because
like think about it as much.
Because you're so good at your craft. I mean, I do because I have to see people's bodies and what are they doing anything whack or wrong. But as far as like teaching like the sequencing or going through the cueing of like what the thing is that we're doing, like, I could do that in my sleep. And Corepower has the basic sculpt sequence, right, that a lot of teachers teach. Like, I definitely could do that like half sleep, you know what I mean? So that's why I used to vary my sequencing a lot, was because I felt like if everybody is taking the same sequence all the time, that even they're doing it half sleep, right? So you never know where I'm going, what I'm doing.
Nice.
I mean, I would get in trouble for that sometimes because they were like, yo, you're supposed to
Carmilla's going off script again.
Yeah, you're supposed to stick to the skeleton, right? And I was always like, okay, right? So, so leaving was like, I was really sad because I knew a lot of people weren't going to come with me, but it also opened up the room and opened up the floor and opened up that space to the new me's that are going to, use that room to be able to like elevate themselves and get better, but also elevate the people in the room.
Yeah.
So that was the good part. But the sad part was that I was leaving a family behind.
Yeah. Did you also note, like you said, like some of the students might be also performing this half asleep too. Did you feel like that you weren't serving the students as well, or like the students were ready for that next challenge?
No, because I would know who's in class.
Oh, okay.
During my classes.
Yeah.
So we would push the envelope
Uh-huh.
in class, right? So there were certain times that I taught that those students are literally the most savage. That they would, because I do the class, I would do the class with everybody, and there would be times where like I would go down on my knees for a second, like I'm about to die from my own class. And then the person next to me would be like, come on, you got to get off your knees and like, do this thing with us. And I'm like, oh my God. Right. So, but I was also like, I'm teaching 6 of these and doing almost all of them. So what are you saying? But I wouldn't say that, right? Because then I'm giving myself an excuse.
Yeah.
Well, I got to teach 6 of them. So,
right.
I'm not going to do it. Whatever. Like, no. That's not a good excuse.
You gotta lead by example.
Yeah, lead by example. So the 6 a.m.s, they're the Rough Riders. They come in with an expectation that this class
is gonna obliterate them.
Yep, like I paid my money to be here. You better blow me up. Like like make sure that like I cannot I want to be in exhaustion.
Yeah.
I want my biceps to hurt real bad. I want my shoulders to not be able to do another push-up.
Yeah.
So the 6 a.m.s were really, really tough. The noon classes, because they're on their lunch break, they're trying to get it in.
Yeah.
They're sacrificing time. Midday.
They could be socializing during lunch.
Yeah. They're like, nope, I'm coming in. I'm gonna smash it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they weren't doing it in their sleep. Those time zones.
Would you say those are the 2 times that are the most after it? The highest go-getters? Or are there people that are coming off, not to dismiss the people that are coming from work or anything either, but
they're tired.
They're tired. I don't know. Yeah.
They're emotionally tired too.
Yeah.
That's hard. The night classes, my Friday night was more of a we would work out, but it's a little bit of a twerk party. We'd be twerking. Because I know it's the end of the week. They have work. I mean, we still work really hard, but then I intersperse it with bounce music. So we're twerking, I'm playing really ratchet music, which was illegal at Corepower also, by the way. I don't work there anymore, so I can say it. So not swear, I would try to apply all clean things, but we would be listening to music that wasn't super mainstream pop type music, and it made people feel good, and the class sold out. It would have a wait list, and because that's what people wanted. They wanted that decompression, that less, you can't cross boundaries at work, but now I'm in this class where I can twerk and listen to some music that isn't thought of as the best type of music to listen to. So I'm always trying to give my students an experience, because I always put it this way: you go to a restaurant, right, and you paying money for that food, and somebody gives you a plate of food, it got 2 scallops, and you paying $200 for 2 scallops, and you leave hungry.
Oh boy.
So when you come to my class, I'm going to give you 100 scallops. I'm going to give you 20 chicken breasts. I'm going to give you more food than you can eat. So when you leave, you full. And that fullness is mind, because I talk a lot about, mindset, not just mindset, but neuroplasticity. I talk about philosophy in class. I talk about, emotional, psychological stuff. And then, your spirit, and then your body. I want you full all the way around, all the way around full. And I think some people just come into class to teach a class and think aesthetics, muscle, right? And think of it as a party, and then that's it. I don't think all instructors do that, but you do have instructors that do that.
Yeah, I understand.
So it was bittersweet. And then going to Studio 3, I definitely was nervous.
Why?
I was scared. Because the Corepower students knew, they know how I am. They know if I'm having a bad day, I'll tell them, y'all, I didn't sleep for 48 hours because this thing was going on, and I'm feeling a little bit rough, you know what I mean? Like, we really had camaraderie with each other.
Yeah.
And at Studio 3, I was very worried that people wouldn't be very receptive to how authentic I am.
Yeah. It really, like, even in the initial talks of like coming on board,
the owner is amazing.
Yeah.
David Blitz is like, he's a go-getter.
Okay.
He's a savage.
Yeah.
Actually. Like, serious. Laura, Layla, like, all of them, Alyssa, like, the whole team, Daniela.
People that you're inspired by. Yeah,
they're all very, like, elevated, and they were patient with me. We went through talks for 3 months before I decided yes.
Okay.
And they're elevating me.
Yeah.
I've never had someone elevate me in the way they are.
Would you describe them as authentic?
Yeah. They want me to be, like, comfortable. They're all strong. They even said, I was like, is there any feedback? Like, and they were like, no, but if we get it, we'll give it to you straight.
Okay.
Right. And saying it that way, like, no, it's fine. If we get it, we'll go through it. It was like, no, if we get it, we'll give it to you straight. Like, that was like, no BS, right? Yeah. And so I was like, okay. Like, you're sweet and kind and welcoming and making me seem like, you're so grateful I'm there. Yeah. But at the same time, you're like, but we still want to be great at what we do as a company. Right. I was more worried about the students.
Sure. On their experiences. The number of comments under your first couple Studio 3 videos were like, I'm signing up right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, a lot of Corepower people came over.
That's amazing.
But the Studio 3 students, so far, they like my classes.
Have you have you been a student at Studio 3 prior to that?
No.
No, interesting. Because I didn't know how many locations there were.
I would have to pay. So, and trainers are broke. Everybody needs to know they are broke. We're broke. So I was like, well, I can't be paying drop-ins. So
it's so interesting. The number of places you coach at and train at, it's like, I was like, wow, Carmilla needs to, like, stretch herself this many places to, like, make ends meet or, like, to thrive. Because, like, I know she loves this stuff, but, like, damn, like, it's nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, it's both. I won't lie. Okay. It's both. Okay. So it is, paying my rent and my 4 cats. And, like, the activities that I like. Yeah. I do, like, marathon, whatever, Hyrox. I got to pay for that stuff. I don't get that stuff for free. Yeah. And so paying for those kinds of things. And so, yeah, because, I'm now single for the past, 3 years, celibate for more than that. And I have to support myself. But not just that, it's my passion, right? Yeah. So I think the more places I teach at, the more people I can touch.
Yeah, I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, one could ask, like, how does Carmilla recharge? And I think everyone's definition of recharge is different. And I think, would you, in your classes, still feel like some part of it is recharging to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. By the fact that what you talked about earlier, actually, by doing good and knowing that I have hopefully helped someone in some way, recharges my spirit. That I'm just not out here making money, that, like, I am impacting somebody's life to be better, even if they don't realize it. That, like, maybe they go home and they're like, yes, I told everybody to set a goal on Monday. I said, do one thing, even if it's just folding your clothes and putting them away, even if it's just washing the dishes tonight. Just set one goal of something you don't normally do, and then just do that today, right? And maybe they do that and they're like, wow, that felt really good, and then they go to sleep and sleep well, right? And they're not going to think about that, like, she said to do that thing and I did it, and then I went to sleep and I felt happy and well, right? Yeah. They did it, but it made a difference for them.
It really is about the little things and the small wins and trying to build on that momentum.
Yeah.
Like discipline doesn't happen overnight, right? It's like, it's the small things that add up over time.
Yeah.
And like the lifelong question of discipline is like, does it come from within or can it be imparted on by someone else, like a trainer? And like, maybe it's a mix of both, but like that motivation, like it has to be like I think the thrusters to get you out of orbit might come from someone else. Like, oh, I'm looking at Carmilla, I'm taking Carmilla's class and I'm inspired to change for this one class. How long does that motivation last before it withers away? And you have to find something else to motivate you. And I think something inside you would be longer lasting as fuel rather than an external motivator.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I'll ask students, or I'll say to students in class, is a lot of times people don't do things because somebody told them they could not.
Oh, yeah.
And I say it in multiple classes. I'm like, you don't try to do those things. You don't try to be brave because somebody in your life at one point told you weren't able to, that you couldn't do something. And then now you're locked in that feedback loop of not being brave in most things you do. You become afraid. So I think the key to unlocking discipline is find out why you can't. Why haven't you been disciplined? What happened to you when you came out of the womb and then were born and you start doing stuff? And I talk about this in class too, that a baby isn't afraid to try to get up and walk, right? There's the Japanese saying, right? The samurai say, fall down 7, get up 8. Right. And this 8th time you're a man, but that has to do with like the concepts of Bushido, that the baby isn't like, I'm not going to try to walk again just because I fell down. Right. So when we come out, we don't have this concept of like fear. Right. Something gives us, experience also. So what experience did a person experience that suddenly made them decide discipline wasn't worth it, or discipline wasn't worth it, that it's not worth being locked in, that it's not worth being disciplined, right? And you see that a lot in life, that like, I'm never going to be able to be a millionaire, so why do I even try, right? I'm never going to be able to run a marathon, why even try? So where does that come from?
Yeah. And how much of it is emotional and how much of it is logical? Like, is it really as simple as making the decision to commit?
Yeah. It's not as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because I'm always saying what I talked about, but I actually talked about this on Monday, that it's not as easy as committing, because coming to class, and I said this quote, coming to class and not doing the work, or setting a goal and not doing the work, is failure in disguise.
Oh, yeah.
You're disguising your failure by saying, I set this goal, I showed up in class. Is success disguised? You're disguising your failure as a success. I made a goal, so I'm successful. But you didn't do the goal. Is success?
Yeah. It's good enough.
Yeah. It's failure disguised as success. And so I think that committing isn't enough, because people could commit to like, I'm going to go to class and then like not do the class and just come to class and then talk.
Yeah. Following through.
Yeah. So I don't think it's just commitment. You got to figure out, like, sometimes it's just like family things, right? That maybe you have a spouse that's not going to support you. maybe you're overcommitted in other places because you're a people pleaser. And then that is where what is holding you back from you being the greatest you.
Yeah.
Something has to be sacrificed.
Yeah, I agree. What is this commitment or goal worth these sacrifices?
Yeah. And
when you've witnessed, and it could be from yourself or the students and people around you, when you've witnessed the number of savages you've witnessed, you kind of have less tolerance for the BS.
Yeah.
For the excuses, right?
Yes, I will. Okay, yes. And that is really difficult for me because I've been with these savages they saw me through my growth of like even becoming savage, right?
Yeah.
So by the time I was like there, it was like 8 years ago when I kept like, okay, I'm going to level up every single thing I do. And because I've been with them for so long, if I go somewhere else where people aren't that, I am
you're just hit with the semi-truck of Carmilla.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, what is going on in here? Like, and I'm thinking in my mind that it's that place. When it's not that place, it's just the fact that I'm always around other savages that like when I'm somewhere that's normal, that's more normal.
Yeah.
I'm like freaked out a little bit. I'm like thinking that it's the place and not that like if I went to a lot of places, this would be the normal.
Well, it's interesting though, but like you've worked at so many different places. Like I'm sure you've code switched the level of intensity at the different places that you've worked at.
I do. So my intention is to get everybody there. So in the beginning, I code switch for like the first like 6 months.
And you start seeing familiar faces.
And then I like make it harder. Then I make it harder. Then I make it harder. Then they get to know my personality. And then at a certain point, I'm like, you know who class you came to. This is what's happening, right?
And in the age of social media, are many students doing their homework? Like, are they doing their research on instructors?
Okay, so somebody came to my class, and she was visiting from New York.
Cool.
And she asked ChatGPT,
oh shit,
who is the hardest Corepower instructor in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And ChatGPT told her.
I wonder what data ChatGPT was using.
From Reddit, social media posts, comments. It seems like Carmilla Kupritz, who goes by Carmilla K, is the hardest instructor at Corepower in Chicago. So yes, with social media and the amalgamation, I mean, obviously that's going to change because I'm not there anymore. But the amalgamation of information and comments and things, that was how she found my class. Yeah. So, and she came and she said it didn't disappoint. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. This whole conversation, I can't help but think of Kobe and the mama mentality and his understanding of people might have saved up money to see him once in a lifetime, and no matter how shitty he feels, he's gonna put his best foot forward and show up.
Yeah. There was one time I had the stomach flu, and I started throwing up like 10 minutes before I had to leave my house. And I was like, well, here we go. It was the 6 a.m. class. So I went, I taught class. They had no idea I would be teaching. And I would go to the back of the room. There was a garbage can right on the outside of it. I would be like, I would put them in something like, you have push-ups. And everybody's doing push-ups because they're belly down. Music is blasting. I'm outside.
You're doing your thing?
Up.
Oh my God.
I came in, taught like normal. Nobody knew,
right?
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you show up because they showed up. They showed up.
Like, I got to be in a hospital bed to not show up.
Yeah, they woke up at 4:30 in the morning to like, to do the workout with me, right? And I want to make sure like they came to my restaurant. I want to serve them the food. I want to serve them.
All the scallops.
I want to give them, all the scallops. I like scallops. I don't actually love them, but like they're good. I don't know why I use scallops. I probably use scallops because you do go somewhere to order scallops and it'd be like $40 scallops with like some mashed potatoes. And then it comes out with like 4 little scallops on a little thing of mashed potatoes. And you're like, what the
I don't know if we talked about, do you do sushi? Do you do omakase in Japan?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good for you.
I love.
How many, like, is it like more abundant there? I mean, it's pretty abundant now in Chicago, but there was a time when it wasn't.
It's abundant there.
Abundant, I also abundant in the sense of, is it cost prohibitive or is it like a special occasion type thing in Japan? Because it feels like it is here.
There it was like, I got omakase with sake for $80.
Yeah, wow, that's
and without it was like, I don't know, like $60.
Yeah, so maybe the cost is coming from like the import stuff.
They're not importing.
No, to Chicago. Fish. I mean, like that's what I mean. It's like
they're not importing
to Chicago.
I mean, they're using. We don't know what fish they're using.
I mean, I'm talking about Kyoten. So Chef Otto from Kyoten.
Oh yeah.
He's the only, I guess, person in Chicago that uses the rice they use.
And it's Kaizen, I think.
I'm sure Kaizen's up on those lists as well.
Yeah, I think they're like, we got to keep it secret, but maybe it's not secret anymore. But Kaizen is like top tier. Okay, yeah, you're right. Kyoten and Kaizen. Yeah.
So, I mean, a week into Studio 3, has it exceeded expectations?
Yeah, my first week was, so I went from Corepower. So I went from running half marathon in Iceland.
Without prep?
No training. I did one 6-mile training.
And how far in advance?
1 6-mile run.
How far in advance did you sign up for that?
Okay, so I did sign up for it like, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. And I was like, okay, this is gonna like force me to like train running. And
is this for the what is it, the ultra or the
No, I signed up for the ultra.
Did you sign up for the half because you're signing up for the ultra?
No.
Oh.
So I signed up for it because my running is not great. And during Hyrox, like that is one of my deficits.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, all right, I'm going to sign up for a half and that's just going to make me train running.
Yeah.
And then I really wasn't doing the training. And then after a month, I mean, I still had some weeks I could still train.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm always talking shit about mindset. I'm always saying you can do a lot of things if you just focus in on your mindset, right? And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do this half marathon. Can I say the F word?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do it untrained.
Wow.
Right? And then one of my clients took me on a 5.5 mile run. And I was dying. And I got a blister. And then I was like, oh my God.
What did I sign up for?
And then she was like, you really gonna do this cold? And I was like, yeah, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. So I didn't do any more running after that. I literally did no more running. And then I flew out to Iceland. My friend Jillian ended up coming. It was good that she did.
Yeah.
And then we ran
just
the
to cheer you on?
Well,
or?
she runs a lot of marathons.
Okay.
No, so she joined it. She was like, I'm going to run too.
Oh, shit.
But she's a marathoner.
Yeah,
like, she's a boss at marathons. Like, I think she's done like 20 or something, like crazy amount. And so, and it was cold and it was windy. It was like I was running sideways. And we went out there and I ran with shoes that I had not broken in.
Oh.
And within like the first like 10 minutes, my toe was like, it was gonna come off. I was like, this toe is whack. So I was stressing out. Like I was like, oh no, my toenail, it feels crazy. Yeah, so we're running and we got to about mile 9.18. Actually, it was kind of funny. So there were moments where like we were running and we were doing this. It was this long, like slow, gradual incline up that had to be like 3 miles or something.
Oh wow.
And she kept being like, we're not gonna be on here for that long. It's just like a mile and then we're gonna loop around.
Oh, so she already knew like the trick, like the
tricks to get me to keep going. No,
that too.
It was a trick.
She knew the route though?
Yeah, she had it downloaded.
Oh wow.
And so we're running and I was like, Bro. And at one point I turned around to her and I was like, you don't tell me we're about to turn because you're lying. You are lying. We've been going up this thing for like already like 3 miles. Yeah, so that was fun and funny. Then we get to the top and we're at like mile 9.
Yeah.
And, you know, marathon, like I had to use the bathroom.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, it's a gopher. It's peeking out. I had this big fear of like being like those videos where like,
pooping
you know,
in public?
the situation
Just
happening.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big coffee drinker like you. I had like 6 shots of espresso, like, you know, before I did it.
It's
so
hidden.
it's happening. Yeah. So she timed it. It was like, bro, you were in there for 6 minutes. And I was like, because I wanted to make sure everything was out. It was out.
Oh, so you didn't just let it happen as you were running. You just
Even this
that's
ultra,
that's a thing,
I'm
though,
not
right?
doing that.
Well,
No.
what if it's like how often do you come across a porta potty? You know, it's like how many are there?
I will bring tissues. Sometimes it will go back into the earth. It's fertilizer. No, there's no way.
Oh, so you'll just okay. All right, I see what you mean. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
But
I'll
like,
go in front of everybody.
If someone cared about their time, they're just gonna let it happen.
Right. So I don't do it for time.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I'm not doing this stuff for time. I'm doing it to see if I can.
I'm kind of surprised. In college, I volunteered with Chicago Marathon and like would be at the finish line handing out the really strong Gatorade or the heat blankets and all that stuff. But yeah, I never weirdly witnessed any of that stuff. I just saw a lot of cramping and collapsing and finishers and things like that. But I never saw anyone shit themselves.
Me either. I mean, you come across those videos on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you do. Yeah.
But
yeah.
like that was like a fear for me, and I was like, we got to the back. I was like, we're going.
Gotta overcome the fear.
Yeah. No, it was peaking. It was a gopher. I was like, it's like a whack-a-mole. Like it was like out and in. And
Prairie dogging.
Like,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I told her, I was like, I had my phone, so I got on Apple News for a second because I was like, I need my brain to like
shut off for a second.
Yeah, I was like, the running, just like I need to
how cold was it?
So it was like 55 or 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
No, nice. It was good. And then we started back running, but then she kept telling me like, oh, like we started running down this one. And she was like, when we round this bend, it's going to be the finish line. She lied. We round the bend. There's no finish line. So I pick up my pace. I'm like, okay, we almost done. Let's go. But I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, I don't think we're at 13 miles, but like, good. It's earlier. Wherever it's at. My watch is wrong. Let's go. So we round it. I'm like, no.
Bitch, you lying again.
Yes. And then it was these red flags really far down. And she was like, I'm sorry. You know what? It's where those red flags are. So we're running. I don't see no people. I don't see any people. And I'm like, maybe we're so far behind. Everybody's gone. But we weren't that far behind. But I was like, oh my God, everybody's gone. And then we get closer and I'm like, you lie again. Oh my God. And then she was like, actually, no, it's just like a half a mile when we turn this thing. And it really was. You turn the thing, you see all
That's
the things
hilarious.
lining up. Yeah.
I mean, is there any way to do that as a running partner? Is there any way, like, what else would have honestly helped you if it wasn't for lying?
She was great. She was a great running partner because, you know, I didn't have a sense of like, you know, how far anything was, just a little bit based on my watch.
Yeah.
But like,
so as someone who doesn't normally run, did you experience like that breaking the wall and the runner's high or anything like that?
I definitely had the runner's high after mile like 4 or 5. And then at around mile 9, I remember looking at my watch. It was like mile 9.18. And I was like, oh, this ain't right. I was like, this feels crazy. This is not right. And and I was lucky, like bathroom was there at mile 10. I was like, I'm going. And get a break in my brain. As far as bonking out, I mean, the last 3 miles was hard. My quads were just like, you know, my muscle fibers were like, you don't use these muscle fibers.
Which is interesting because it's usually the opposite experience in yoga or Pilates when you start having muscles start vibrating and because you've never used them before.
Yeah, so it depends on like, I lift heavy.
Yeah.
Right. So my muscle fibers were like, hello, like you're doing endurance things and you don't
normally do them.
Yeah. So she was great. So I did that cold.
Wow.
And then after I did it, I came home. And during the trip, we were talking about ultras because our husband does ultras.
Okay.
And then I got home and I was like, no, I got home and I saw David Goggins.
He was in Chicago.
I heard that. And I told people I'm never going to meet him because I don't run.
Anyway,
but now I run. But like, I'm still never going to meet him. But like, I saw that he ran 200-mile ultra. He doesn't have knees. Right. And then I was like, yo, the ability of the human mind and body is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started Googling ultra races. And then I found one on my birthday.
Oh, wow.
In Arizona. It's a 55K, so it's only 34 miles.
Only.
And then I was like, okay, that's only 8 more than a marathon. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. So I signed up for it and I already paid my thing. I already bought, walking set. I already started buying all this stuff for it. I already booked my hotel, my flight. It's in. I'm going, barring something whack happening. So I want to push my own boundaries, And everybody's like, why don't you just do a marathon? And I'm like, why just do a marathon?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always telling everybody
to work
else.
your way up there. I don't know. Does it feel like you're skipping steps?
No, I'm going to train for this one.
Okay.
I'm not going to do an ultra marathon cold.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to do the steps to train.
What's the other? I'm thinking of triathlons too.
Yeah.
Would you ever do because then there are other modalities like swimming and biking and
that's
things like that.
The swimming.
Yeah.
The swimming would be
that's
like,
tough. I've when they shut down Lakeshore Drive and all that stuff like.
The swimming is a thing. I don't really love like.
It's like endurance on a different level. Wow.
Yeah, the water is. I have problems scuba diving.
Which is interesting because we're Pisces, right?
Yeah,
and it's
like we should be
fluid, right?
I'd be like, no, this mask and all this gear on me is absolutely terrible. Even the snorkeling, I don't really like it because it's like too much going on.
I threw up in the ocean.
Okay,
from
good.
Snorkeling,
Yeah, snorkeling.
I like lost track of where we were and I accidentally inhaled when the snorkel was
did
under
that
the
too.
water and then I'm like, oh
no, I did that in Iceland. So I went snorkeling in Iceland in the Sofra Fisher.
Yeah,
100%. I was like, I'm drowning. And the instructor was so mad at me. She's like, do you want to get out right now? And I was like, no, I'm fine. I swallowed water. Yeah. But also the negative pressure of water on my body. My body doesn't really love the pressurization of it.
No. Well, and the visual of like not being able to see far. Like,
I can't
I'm
see
scared
far.
as fuck. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. And I made a post about like when we were swimming over the deep as part of the Fisher. I was fine because you have like your view, you can see everything. But the more we got in the shallows, it was like my field of vision was like so like narrow and everything's close. And I was like, it was proximity. And I was like, and flippers were kicking me. And I was like, I don't have control over what's happening right now. And I was like, I had to flip over on my back. I was like, no.
There's in Hawaii, there's an experience where at night you can go onto a boat and they bring you towards an area where manta ray could pop up, but they'll put you into the water with like probably a snorkel or scuba dive if you know how to do that stuff, and then they'll drop like crawfish to attract the manta ray, and then you're swimming amongst the manta rays
and the crawfish,
right? But like that shit is just like unnerving to me. Like
that is, and you know what? Weirdly, if I didn't have to wear all the gear,
it's almost claustrophobic.
I would feel more in control.
Yeah.
But with all that stuff on me,
because it's a skill. You have to learn how to use that stuff. Yeah.
And with all that stuff on me, it's like I'm relying on this stuff.
And you don't trust
if
it.
I don't, Whereas if I'm just free diving, I have the control of like diving in, coming out when I want breath, not just trying to keep my face in the water the whole time. Like, you know, I could look, but like, you know, you don't want salt in your eyes. So there's, you don't want salt in your eyeballs. It would burn. It does burn.
That or your lungs, right? Or like, you know, or swallowed. Inhaling salt water. Just like, I remember throwing up right after that.
Yeah.
Oh God. Not
or
a good time.
It better you threw up than the gopher, like, you know. So the salt water.
So tell me, like, if you said it exceeded your expectations at Studio 3, were the vibes different? Like, what would you liken it to? Like from the outside, I get Midtown vibes. Like I get like aesthetic vibes. Like there's two in like Fulton Market and West Loop.
There's Fulton Market, West Loop, and Lincoln Park.
And Lincoln Park, yeah.
And River North. There's four. There's four.
I didn't know that there were that many.
There's four. I'm at the West Loop studio, and I thought the same thing you did. Actually, I was like, these students gonna be like, you know,
like not as committed. Not as
they're committed to being, you know, that I thought they would be committed. They're there to take photos and just you know,
there's nothing wrong with a photo after the workout.
Oh no,
right?
I love photos after the workout.
Yeah.
I even don't mind people videoing during the workout, just not when I'm like cussing somebody out. But like,
but a level of seriousness that you've come to expect from your other savages.
Yeah, so I thought like they were gonna be whack. Right, like they're not gonna be serious. People are gonna just be like doing
and these are questions that you probably asked the owner and the other instructors at Studio 3 prior to you coming on board.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Because I wouldn't trust, like, if somebody's like, oh, everybody works hard, I'd be like,
you have to experience it firsthand.
Because I've been in places like that, and I'm like, this place is lame, you know.
Okay.
So
they said enough to get you in the door, and then you had to experience it firsthand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the women, honestly, live heavier than the women at Corepower.
Oh, wow.
So that was the first like thing that I was like, okay. And then when I'm teaching and I'm cueing and I'm like giving my like motivational pushes, people push through. And then I saw one girl crying during the workout because she wanted it so bad and she wanted to keep pushing. Then I had messages after people saying, you like rang my body out to the point of like when I laid down on the mat, I felt like I could release and just cry and be in my body, right? So they've surprised me, and I'm not just saying that. They actually do lift heavier than the women at Corepower, and yeah, they might not be on tempo, right? Because at Corepower we teach to the beat, like at Ignite at Midtown. We don't. It's not beat driven. You can be on the beat, but it's not beat driven, and they're all lifting heavy. So like, how can you like, you know? I'm just motivating them and pushing them to like maybe lift heavier. Maybe, you know, go that one extra rep, but they're already pretty savage. Right?
Damn.
Not everybody, but they have a good amount of savages there.
Yeah, more than you thought.
So that was really surprising, pleasantly surprising.
Yeah, wow. Tell me, like, so you've probably seen what it takes to be an operator and let's say like quote unquote management. Is that something that you're ever interested in, or have you seen that side of the work of operating a gym or a studio, and is it something that you want no part of? And it's just like, I have found other great operators to teach with. I have no interest in running a business or operating a gym or a studio.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
You know, management or operating a gym, you got to keep your gym open.
Yeah.
And that becomes your priority, right? And then, you know, you start to tailor your gym. I mean, Strive Village doesn't do that, right? Like that place, you just...
I haven't heard of that place.
You know, it's downtown on Ontario. It's hard. Ontario,
But,
Ohio.
but do
It's
you,
on
do you feel
Ohio.
like by this point you have such a following that...
But then I would have to teach all the classes. And that would be crazy too. So
I mean, you're already teaching all these classes.
I do.
But you probably appreciate the variety.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, like, I only teach during the day. I only teach Friday night. It's the only nighttime I teach. So, and then I'm off Saturday. So, like, it would be just a lot.
Yeah.
But also, you're trying to keep your doors open. And I find that is the problem with a lot of places, is that even though, like I say, I want feedback all the time, that corporate entities or gyms with multiple locations, you know, they are trying to follow Starbucks model or McDonald's model, right? So you are going to appeal to the masses,
Right, okay.
with mediocrity.
Ooh. Yeah. And you're not about that.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
I mean, but wouldn't that be great though? To have a gym that doesn't cater to mediocrity?
Yes, but you still have to find enough savages that want to do that, and
I think there are enough
teach all the
savages.
class, and I can't teach all the classes.
I think
so
you're in your
there's
own
that
way.
too.
I think you can find. I'm sure you've already met other savage instructors, and obviously savage students.
Oh yeah, yes.
And I think there is an operator bug in you, and if you tap into it, like then like I wonder how much time you spend commuting and traveling.
If I open the gym, my feedback to my instructors would be never, you're not hard enough. I mean, you're too hard.
Feedback from you or the students?
From me. I would never go and be like, you're too hard. My feedback would probably be, you're not hard enough.
Yeah.
Or my feedback would be more about cueing, or learning anatomy, or, you know, an exercise that could be, you know, built upon better, or talking to the students, even though you're talking to the room, but giving cues like, yo, if you don't have really great ankle mobility, maybe shorten your stance. If you don't have really great hip mobility, you know, maybe put a block underneath your knee to gauge where the floor is from your knee in your lunges. Or instead of doing a shoulder press, just a strict shoulder press, bring your elbows all the way down to get the stretch and then do a shoulder press. You know, I would ask them to speak to that, better cueing or techniques for different bodies. But I would never limit my instructors. My feedback would always be like, how can you make the class harder?
Yeah. No, I
because the people who are going to do it easy, or modify, they're going to do it anyway.
Right.
They're literally going to, we're adults.
Yeah.
They're going to modify. They're going to be like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that, you know?
Yeah. No, I guess what I mean, though, is as an operator, you can choose how much or how little you want to stay involved in the teaching. I think in the very beginning, you're going to have to do more of the, like, wear many hats type thing, whether that's HR and payroll and finance, accounting, all that stuff. But then eventually you build a team and you can come back to the thing that brought you there in the first place, which is teach, right? And you can continue like that. That's kind of like I'm starting school tomorrow. I'm gonna go to critical care paramedic class. So it's like a 12-week, once a week, 7 hours a day. It's like you learn. It widens my scope of practice as a paramedic, and I get to take care of sicker patients. I get to learn how to operate things like ventilators. So if someone needs a machine to breathe, like how to hook them up to that machine, and other devices as well that you might see in like an ICU. So it's just one step above. But between then and 2018, I haven't been on an ambulance. I haven't rendered patient care. And so these days I am an operator. I have built 45, like I have a team of 45 instructors that teach the class, and I ensure an excellent experience, but I feel like an imposter directly giving this instruction. Yeah. So, you know, that's part of the reason why I wanted to go back to school is to just stay up on things, and I'm, you know, curious by nature, and I want to keep learning. But it's I'm surprised by how much I don't hate being an operator. Like, I get to facilitate the students and the instructors' experience. Like, I want to create such a good experience that instructors would say, I would do this for free.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? I want them to have a good time. I want it to be fulfilling. They naturally love teaching. So how do I curate an environment where a student comes in with a level of seriousness that it takes for my instructor to gain appreciation, fulfillment for the energy they're putting into that student?
Okay, yeah.
That's what I mean. So
okay, I do love that.
You are now put in a position of responsibility of curating an environment and experience for everyone involved.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, I know, right? Don't say no. Don't say never.
But right now, I'm thinking about, not this fall.
Yeah.
But maybe next spring, not winter, but spring. You inspired me. Spencer inspired me. And I love the human body. So I'm like, maybe I should do an EMT course.
Oh, wow.
And, really think about like
we
just learning the body differently, right?
Yeah.
I know like the physiology of like workout, but learning the body organs, the mind,
these are life skills,
in a whole different way.
I mean, you see someone collapse, get respiratory distress, chest pain, not only would you know what to do, but you'd be confident and calm in rendering care.
Yeah. That my amygdala isn't taking over and being like, run away. We talked about that. I did a CPR class. And it was like a 2-day, it was a long thing. It was like 10 hours for 2 days or something. Wow. It was crazy. But we were like, we were like, okay, this person is fallen. What are you going to do? And me and my friend honestly were like, I don't know. I'm going to leave. And I was like, I'm going to call the police and I'm probably not going to get the AED. I'm not going to be thinking like, call the paramedics, grab the AED kit. And, go over and ask questions and all this stuff, right? I would. But we made a joke during class, like, if a real scenario happens, do they freeze? Like, a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. I remember like a student, she was on the red line at Roosevelt and State. It's underground and she has her AirPods in. She's not paying attention. There's a lot of commotion, people running around, doors open, and someone comes into the train car, sits next to her, and then when she looks over, she notices that he's supporting his shoulder and he was just shot. And she doesn't remember anything after that. She like mentally blacked out.
Did she?
She didn't physically black out. Like she made it out of there, but like she doesn't recall anything that happened after.
Okay, no, I do. I have had situations. I usually call the police first. Instead of being like, are you okay? I usually call 911. And as I'm on the phone,
that's great.
I'm trying to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But my first thing is like, yo, this person's on the ground throwing up out the side of their mouth. They're not, they're, maybe it's a drug reaction, whatever it is. I'm like, let's call first. And then I'm staying here with them. Now, whether I would grab an AED and do all the other stuff is, I don't know because I haven't been in that situation.
These are things that we train you to do, right? Like similar to your classes, I'm sure, we tell our students that we are slowly pushing their circle of comfort. And by the end of the class, they're going to be able to handle a level of stress that they were previously unable to handle.
I would like that because my stress, like I can handle a lot of stress, but once I get to like a specific like line, like I'm just like, okay,
that's everyone. Everyone has a different threshold.
Not good.
Yeah.
There was a girl at Corepower, had been at HPF.
Okay.
She had been on this extreme diet.
Okay.
I was in the lobby socializing. Like I am always socializing between classes. So I'm socializing and she comes out. All she does is walk out the door and all of a sudden she just collapses. Yeah. I went over.
The couple of classes at Midtown, I almost collapsed. Like it's just either it's the heat or the amount of stress or just the workout in general, and just pushing yourself and
your heart
just like
going.
Try to lay down as fast as you can so you don't fall and collapse.
No, she didn't. No, she fainted. So called ambulance.
Wow.
luckily she was only fainted for like 15 seconds.
Oh, okay,
right?
yeah.
But it was too late. Like we called.
Yeah, no, that's good. She can refuse.
Coming to.
Yeah.
Got her Gatorade.
Yeah.
Got her some sugar, and then she was like, no, she did refuse. She was like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. And then she left.
Yeah.
No, so those situations I can handle.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like, some apocalyptic situation.
Yeah, yeah.
That I'm gonna be like, look. I'm sorry to tell y'all this, but if like somebody is coming in doing something crazy, like, we all gotta leave. And hopefully everybody knows if I'm like, hey, let's get, like, we're not trying to fight this person.
In a way, that's a strength of the ability to remain calm during a stressful time.
Yeah, like we're going. Like Vikings, actually, do you know about this?
No, tell me.
They only really raided people in places that they knew were weaker than them. If they started getting beat back, they would retreat. Mm-hmm. So like live to fight another day, right? So the idea that I'm gonna think that I'm some badass to take, maybe I should take jujitsu, but like that I could take this person down. Like, know your strengths. Also know your weaknesses. So I would love to be like, no, if somebody came in like waving a gun or doing something crazy, that I would, badass up and like, no, I'm just being authentic and honest.
Yeah.
That like, I cannot like do anything to like stop this person. So don't look at me that like, I'm gonna be able to like wrestle this gun, wrestle this thing away and like save us all. Like,
Camilla's a savage. Like,
yeah, no. I'm athletic, yes, and human performance, but I am not like.
That's funny. I was listening.
I'm not a soldier.
I was listening to an episode of Lex Friedman yesterday. His latest episode was talking to a paleontologist, and they were talking about if humans were to meet a Tyrannosaurus, would we be food for that Tyrannosaurus? And it's not apparent that maybe not. I don't know. It's like, but just like in Jurassic Park, they're like, don't move. They have poor vision, and it was really enlightening when they said like, it's actually the size of like an eyeball, like the absolute size, not the relative size. Like when you look at a whale, their relative size of their eyeball is small compared to the rest of the body.
Yeah.
But their absolute size of the eyeball is large. And so they probably have pretty decent vision, similarly to a T-Rex. So they kind of dispel the myth of like, if you freeze, they won't see you from Jurassic Park. And yeah, so it's just funny. It's just like, would we survive against a T-Rex?
If the T-Rex was trying to eat us?
Yeah. I think they said you can run laps around a tree because they have, poor pivoting skills.
Okay, I can see that
Stuff
because
like
of the
that,
tail,
right?
right? And their little...
Yeah, like how does an animal of that stature stand? How is it bipedal? But they said there's a lot of weight at the base of its tail and obviously weight at the head. Yeah. So it's like balanced on either side on the 2 feet.
Okay, that makes sense.
Kind of like a large chicken.
Yeah, chickens are weird.
Birds are like the,
like they have
the evolution of dinosaurs.
And no hands.
Yeah.
They have no hands.
Wings.
Yeah, but no, like it's weird. Whenever I think about it and like look at like a roasted chicken.
Oh, chickens. Yeah.
Just, they got legs.
Yes. But
they don't have arms. Like, well, they got wings. But
they don't. It's evolution.
It's like when I look at my cats, right? Because I got the 4 cats. That when they're eating, sometimes I'm watching them and I give them treats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they don't have hands. They always have to like, just bend over and eat with their mouth, and they're just.
But when they're playing with toys, they're kind of like, playing with them with
their 2 paws.
Yeah,
that's true. But when they're eating, I'm like,
they're not like
that would
feeding
be so
themselves.
Sad that like,
imagine if they didn't have bowls. It's just like, how do
And the treats are sliding everywhere, and they're just trying to bite it with their hands, and I'm like, they're trying to bite it with their mouth, and I'm just like stressed out. Like, no, let me like.
Well, maybe that's why they have such sharp claws. I don't know. It's just like it gives them grip on things.
Well, they need to start picking. I would feel so much better if they were like picking up.
That'd be scary if cats could articulate their hands.
Yeah, because they're already the perfect animal. Did you know that?
What perfect in what sense?
Perfect predator. all of their body parts, the balancing, their eyes, their ears.
Yeah.
It was a study like they're the perfect animal or predator, that everything is optimized in a cat.
I saw a Reddit video on like a cat versus a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
And like their
Reflexes.
reflexes are, you can't beat a cat.
Yeah. They still need us though. They still need us. Yeah.
I also saw, what is that? I saw someone gave a cheetah catnip.
Oh, I saw
and it was
that
just, like,
video.
rubbing its face all
I
over
saw
the
that
cat.
video. I was like, all cats are the same, but don't try to be hanging out with a cheetah though.
Yeah.
That's no good. That's no good.
Tell me, because we didn't get to talk about this last time, and you kind of talked about this on the women's podcast. I think they're also like Corepower instructors.
Oh yeah.
But like, what is it like trying to balance, if balance is the right term, a relationship with how busy you are? You know, and I know on that podcast you're like, it'd be great if they live somewhere else. Like, I think with that sentiment of like wanting separate lives, like not needing to be in each other's hair 24/7. I think that's the sentiment you're going for. Yeah,
I'm single.
Yeah. But it's also kind of like happily, like you're
yeah,
like,
I'm
you're
happily
like,
single.
Happily single.
Actually, I don't want to like, you know, I'm not, you know, I know there's loneliness epidemic and all this stuff, like women, you know, but
like, and what's Carmilla's ideal relationship world?
So I thought I wanted to date someone that lived somewhere else. But then I was talking to someone that lived somewhere else.
Okay.
And beautiful connection, talking about like philosophy, religion, science, you know, everything. And then I realized that I would like to have an intellectual relationship.
What was it?
With someone.
Or a physical relationship?
No.
Intellectual? If that was an intellectual?
Yeah, just intellectual and emotional, right? But not like an actual physical relationship, right? And then I realized, but then what makes that different than just having like a best friend?
Or AI?
No AI.
I'm sure you can have an intellectual conversation and relationship with Claude.
You could, but that's like something that's like programmed to give you answers and things back to a certain degree, because it's an amalgamation of a lot of different stuff on the internet, and then it's putting it together and responding to you in a way that
I don't know. Sometimes it's not always an echo chamber.
It isn't always an echo chamber.
Yeah.
I've used ChatGPT before to like ask some things, and I was like, "Yo, you're not like helping me really," like, you know. So no, I agree. But you're right. Or like, what's the difference between having a ChatGPT person or thing you talk to?
Sorry, yeah. So I cut you off. So you're saying, like, did you just want a best friend? You want a friend? Like, what? I don't get it.
Yeah, I was like, well, no, that means that person is just another really close friend, maybe that knows like a different side of you than other friends.
So then, what would distinguish a? Is there such a thing as a romantic partner then in your life? I
mean, I wouldn't be opposed. Okay,
but like, how do we switch from being opposed to I want it, if that's what you want? You know, like how do we realign or like reframe the perspective? Is it something you want? Don't come from it from like it'd be okay. I like you challenging it'd be okay.
I like this. Okay. Yes. But there's buts, right? Because like I start to wind down. Yeah. My wind down is at 7:30. I go to sleep at 8:30, right? I go to sleep between 8:30 and 9, like Sunday through Friday.
Okay.
Saturday I'm off. And then Sunday I go to sleep. I work at like 9:30. So I give myself Saturday night to like go to bed at like 10, you know. But Friday night, I'll stay up late. I go with my friends. We don't really do anything because I don't really drink anymore. So we'll just like hang out, go eat. We might even go to Blind Barber or Bodega and dance and listen to music, but we not like doing all the other stuff, you know, because they're fit too. Like Brenda is running a marathon. You know, JC already really didn't drink anyway. So my friend group, Anna doesn't drink. So my friend group, they don't really drink anyway. That if somebody was like, babe, you know, it's a Tuesday night, let's go out to eat at 7 p.m. to a restaurant, and I'm like, no, I gotta get up, and they're being all like a bitch about it.
Carmilla, I haven't seen you in 2 months.
Yeah, like, dude, come on, like you could just forego your thing. You're crossing my boundary already, right? Like, you know, I got to get up at 4:30 in the morning, and you are not respecting the fact that I got to get up at 4:30 in the morning, because it's what you want. Can we, like, why can't you know, like, my schedule? You know, my schedule. Let's do it this day. So it's just things like that, you know. And I know you do have to compromise with a relationship.
Oh goodness, yeah.
But there are certain things that, like, it's part of my job, right? And so I can't compromise because you
wouldn't be able to show up for your job.
And I want to be really good at my job, and I'm showing up. I see anywhere between all the places I work at, I see anywhere between 200 to some weeks, when I was at Corepower, 500 different people a week, right? So I'm trying to show up and be there for them emotionally, physically, mentally. 500 people, right? And you want me, and I understand that you will want me for you, but this is the job that I signed up for, that I committed to. They committed to signing up for this class. I committed to teaching this class. So how do I honor my commitment to the people?
No, I agree. And how do you honor it? Does Carmilla really want a relationship? And if she doesn't, then you're doing the right thing. You're committing to your work, right? And look what it cost Kobe. Look what it cost Tiger Woods. You know, like, sacrifices were made in their personal lives.
You have to. And like, the other thing is that the person also has to be like very intellectually smart.
Understanding.
Not even just understanding, but actually intellectually smart, and not offended if they don't know something, and so maybe it's something I know that they don't know, and they're not being offended by the fact that I may know more about this thing than they do, because I'm never offended when somebody knows something more than I do, because I'm excited, because I get to learn from that person. But I find that a lot of guys are not that way in the fitness arena, especially, right? Like, I'm like the strong guy and I know all these things, and you know, there's a level of
you would hear stories of personal trainers saying like, don't ego lift, and like, you know, don't you know, if you're having shitty form, just like, you know, go back to what you can lift with proper form and things like that. And just like, so I think trainers do have an idea of the ego and what it looks like to act a certain way, and if that way is authentic or inauthentic to yourself.
But it's different emotionally, right? There's a dynamic of the socialization of males and females, right? That the man, you know, has a lot of pressure. Men have a lot of pressure that like they're supposed to be hyper intelligent, hyper provider, hyper strong.
So are people intimidated by you?
Yes.
And is that something that like, and I doubt it because you're unapologetically you, but like, is there anything I should be doing to ease people's intimidation of
Yeah, a friend of mine said that to me one time. She said, you should like soften so that so people will, date you. And I was like, no. They
need to be confident in themselves.
Yeah.
In their own authenticity.
Yeah. They should get stronger, not me getting softer. I'm sorry. This podcast is going to be whack. People will be like, that lady whack, she whack. They're going to say I'm whack. It's fine. Guys.
Well, I guess like where are people that are attuned to their highest authenticity found?
I will say this. That's the problem. I won't date my students.
Yeah.
So now we're problematic, right?
Now you gotta leave. Now they gotta leave, or you gotta leave, or,
right?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Even if they leave, like you were my student.
Oh shit! Really? Even former students?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That line's never been crossed.
No.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Okay.
No, never ever. Coworkers.
Yeah.
No.
That's good.
Because you know what? So I've seen this happen before. See, I'm giving you some tea.
Yeah.
So they can show up to your class after y'all broke up and take your class anyway. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to go to your manager and be like, me and this person, we used to, now we're not, and now I don't want them in my class.
Yeah.
You're going to ban them because you decided to have a relationship with them.
Ooh.
And then now y'all broken up and they're booking your class.
Yeah, and that's gonna ruin your day.
Yeah. And then coworkers the same thing. Like you got to see each other at work, and like
is that a thing in the personal trainer world? Because it's a thing in hospitality and within hospitals of like nurses and physicians or nurses and paramedics.
Actually, it is more rare.
Okay.
In the fitness industry for coworkers today. It happens.
Yeah.
And usually when it happens, it's usually successful.
Oh, great.
And I think it's because they've become really good friends.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think
they have the same like
intentions, right? Like transparent intentions.
Yeah. So I think so when it does happen, because that's the other thing, we see people's bodies all the time. Mm-hmm. So I think it's interesting when people think that like just because they have a great body that a trainer would be like, oh yeah, I want some of that. I see beautiful bodies 300 times a day. 300 people walking in a room with great bodies, males and females. So it's got to be more than like your physical.
That's doing it for you?
Yeah, because that's not going to make me attractive, because I'm kind of colorblind to that, I would say. Like you get
you're almost numb to
blindness.
that.
You get nose blindness.
Yeah.
You get that as a trainer when you're seeing like
just like
fit
those
people
are just another
all
set
the
of adults.
time.
Like
you see fit people all the time. So
a butt is a butt.
Like, literally, you just get really kind of immune to it. So that's the other thing. So it can't be just like, ooh, that person looks great. I want to And so I think with the trainers that are successful, that get married and get together, it's because they actually mentally and emotionally found connection and in their spirit, versus like, oh, look at my coworker, they're they got big biceps, I don't know, it's
anytime you're in a situation where you're sharing difficult tasks together and you come out on the other side, and it's a side that not many other people in your life probably get to see. So whether that's like saving a life together as a first responder or as a physician or a nurse or training people, you are going through difficult things together, and then you work through it.
Yeah. And then you bond, right? I mean, hopefully it's not trauma bonding, but like
in a way, in a way, because like, I've had students like not get satisfied at the conversation they had after, let's say, a cardiac arrest, and they were on compressions, and there was usually a debriefing with the team that was in that in that code, and sometimes you just need more of like, what else could I have done for that, and talking it out is helpful.
And then you bond.
And then you bond.
Then you bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, but like and that's the other thing. People will be like, you're too intense, you have too many rules.
Yeah.
You have too much,
Are you going to be just as savage in your personal life as you are as a trainer?
That is such a good question. So actually at home, my house is not, it's super clean.
Yeah.
But it's not like sterile.
Okay.
Like I have fur blankets, I got all my books, I have my cats.
Yeah.
I have like soft
at this
chairs.
point, I think people know that you're into anime and cats and traveling.
And I sit outside on my porch and with my plants.
Yeah.
So in my home space is kind of like my retreat.
Would you describe that as softer?
It is. Like, it's a quiet softness. So in my house, I like to sit with my cats and read,
And is that also something that you would like to see in your partner?
Yeah, like watching TV till like 1 a.m. Even if I'm going to sleep and you're up, I just don't think that would fit with my life. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but it's not for fitting in with my truth. I'm not saying you got to go to bed at 8:30. Like, you could be in a bed reading.
Yeah.
Till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I would be more accepting of something like that than somebody like till 1 just
kind of vegging out.
Thing like that.
I mean, there's a time and place to veg out, but yeah.
I watch anime not at 1 a.m, but like.
So like, how do you go about thinking what an ideal partner is like? Do you like, what constraints, or is it personality? Is it career? Is it spirituality? Like, what vessels or lenses are you like kind of manifesting this ideal partner through?
Well, they have to be somebody that inspires me. That would be really important. Like somebody that inspires me, that like, not that I look up to, that makes me want to accomplish more than I already do.
Isn't that interesting though? Because like, you are so self-motivated.
Yeah.
And that, what a high bar, which I'm not saying lower your bar. I'm just saying like, what a high bar to aspire to find someone else that helps you elevate your bar even more.
Yeah. And not that they're actually like running an ultra, right? You know
in
what
different
I mean?
ways, right?
Yeah. That maybe they're a doctor or an EMT or whatever. And I'm like,
have you heard of that name, Johnny Kim?
No.
The Korean American. He was like Air Force or Navy physician and astronaut.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The ideal Korean American.
Like wild. Yes, he would be. No, I'm just kidding. Like, no. But you know what I mean. That like a person that would be like, oh, you're gonna run an ultra?
Yeah,
babe, that's great. What made you want to run an ultra? And I'm like, because you were talking. Like they inspired me somehow to push my own boundaries or limits or see what I can do. And then they're like, okay, we gonna make this happen.
Yeah. And
they're still into their own thing. So they don't have to be in fitness.
Yeah,
they could be doing like, well, they can't be unhealthy.
Yeah. There's like a minimum bar for that. Yeah.
Like you can't be like just eating Twinkies and like laying around. That's going to be bad.
No.
But like,
you are what you eat.
Yeah. But like you can do your own thing and not be in fitness at all. But the fact that you can still inspire me to see what I can do, and hopefully I can inspire you being like, all right, I'm going to run this ultra, and they've never done it, and they're like, okay, babe, I'm gonna go run a 8K. We can like
this back and forth.
Yeah,
this dance.
Yeah, and I want someone who's really smart, and like that's the other thing that is a little difficult for me is that I read a lot, and I'm gonna publish my novel hopefully by the end of the year. It's science fiction fantasy. It's fantasy. It's not even science fiction. I like writing science fiction. Science fiction is very hard to write because the science fiction people, they are like, no, like the technology's got to be right. Everything's got to make sense.
Right.
Whereas fantasy, you could be like, oh, this thing happened. I'm just going to write in magic and get out. You could write yourself out of the corner. but that the fact that I read a lot, not fantasy, I actually read mostly like a lot of nonfiction, science stuff. And I love studying philosophy. More recently, I've been kind of looking at different spiritualities, and I didn't realize I had a lot of like Christian friends in my life, and I'm agnostic. I'll just be honest. And it's interesting. I've been having these conversations about spirituality with people, which I never really did that much. So it's opening my mind in a different way.
It provides a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's opening my mind differently.
Faith to lean on when you feel like everything's crumbling around you.
Yeah. So I think that that's fascinating. So I would need somebody who is well-rounded in that way, emotionally intelligent, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of boxes that are going on.
Wow.
And like, you know.
That's, where do you find someone like that?
You can't, because I'm not nice at first. When you first meet me, like, if some dude's trying to flirt with me, I'm just looking at him like, are you really talking to me right now?
Damn.
Yeah. So like, there's that part too. You know, I'm not making it like easy.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, but if you're brave, you're not gonna let my like
deter them. Yeah. So
you're not gonna be aggressive.
Right,
you're still gonna be
right.
kind.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be like, no, I want to
gonna
get to know this person. You know.
Huh.
So there's a lot of boxes to check.
That's so tough, because I mean,
and I have to like cats.
Yeah. Where do you find, like, where else do you go when you're not, because you're working everywhere, right? So it's like, if there's that boundary of no coworkers, no students, which is fine, but where else do you go in your free time besides home with the cats? It's like we have to put ourselves in situations where we do stumble across strangers.
I know. And then going to bodega or Blind Barber, like, I'm not gonna find anybody there. They're drinking and doing stuff. So yes, this is a conundrum. So maybe at my ultra marathon, I could like, because they're not out there like, you know, doing a bunch of shots and doing a bunch of like, you know, hopefully not. I mean, I don't know, like maybe they can do that and run, you know, 34, 50, 100 miles. That seems like a lot. If you could do that, maybe I would be like, I'm gonna date you because you can be drunk and run 100 miles. I don't know, but
wow.
Yeah, so now I have to like raise my own bar in order to put myself out there. Yeah, there's that too.
In your Instagram bio, I don't know if it was there before, but you said you shared your 50.
Yeah, I'm 50 years old.
How is the 5th decade?
It's interesting because I think a lot of women that are in their 40s and 50s are entering this era of bravery. And I'm finding a lot of camaraderie in it, but I'm also finding a lot of camaraderie from the women who are 20s and 30s that are looking up to us and holding us up as they look up to us. They're doing like a dual thing. They're like looking up to us like, you're strong at 50. And that makes me inspired and something I can aspire to. And then at the same time, they're like, you got this. We want you to keep going. So I think it's a really like, it's an amazing age. The only thing is like, I do get students at some places that are like, I'm old, I'm 40, so I can't do this and that.
Like they've given up.
Right. And they say it about their age, right? And then there's the savage women who are in their 50s and 60s who are like, I can't do a shoulder press because I got a torn rotator cuff, but you know what I can do? I could do a bicep curl instead. They're not giving themselves an excuse. They're not saying because they're old, that doesn't leave their mouth. They literally will say, I have a torn rotator. I got a replaced knee.
Yeah.
My hip is replaced. They're telling me the actual physical problem without blaming it on age.
Right.
Those are the savages.
Well, I mean,
I look up to them.
I think everyone's in their own lane, right? On their own journey.
Yeah.
And that awareness, I think, is learned of like age is just another excuse type thing. Right?
Yeah.
And that's something that hopefully after a number of examples, they realize this, maybe it is just an excuse, and they reframe their perspective.
Hopefully. I mean, I'm not going to tell them.
Right? There's some things you can't force on people.
No, I'm not going to say it. I just let people know I'm 50.
Yeah.
So that if in their mind they're thinking about, I'm old, I can't do this.
Yeah.
That when they see me, their mindset is like, that's not an excuse.
Damn.
Yeah. And I wasn't, born, an athlete.
They'll probably take it one step further. And they're like, Carmilla does this for her job. That's why Carmilla is such a savage.
They do that. Or they'll say, you don't have kids. And I'm like, no, I have 3.
Oh.
They're 31, 30, and 21. I do say that. They're like, you don't have kids. And I'm like, no, I have 3. Yeah. And they're older than your kids. Yeah. So, like, let's not do, we don't have to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Any more excuses?
Yeah. I mean, it is true. I do this for a living. So, like, how much I can lift? Okay. Yes.
Sure.
And, but you don't need to compare yourself to an instructor to give you an excuse of why you can't. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love this. So that's my relationship status. Like, guys, you have a lot of work. I mean, and I don't think like I'm a super great catch, right? Because I have a lot of flaws. And I have a lot of like issues, right? So, I'm not like some perfect savage or, the even emotionally perfect. I don't know everything. I'm still on my own journey of learning and healing, even all of us, from like childhood things or being in school or parents. And so I am by no means perfect, but I also don't think any human is by any means perfect. So, I also don't want to accept the bare minimum, that just because this person can, buy you a house, or just because they're giving you attention, that this bare minimum is enough. It's not. Like, we have this one life to experience. And I think by leveling yourself up and growth, right, that I read this quote that said, what is growth? It is nothing but a struggle towards the light. It's nothing but a journey to reach higher towards the light. And so it's like, so what are we doing with the bare minimum?
Yeah. Yeah. We're not settling.
No. And if you have the privilege and the opportunity to grow, you got 2 arms and 2 legs. So I'm saying, like, not everybody has the privilege to pay for a membership somewhere. Not everybody has the privilege to, pay rent and feed themselves and, do all the things that we take for granted. And not everybody has the opportunity to go to the gym because maybe they're working like 10, 12 hours days, they just really don't have that opportunity. But for those of us who do, why are you wasting what is given to you? Why are you wasting your opportunity to be something more?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's wild to me.
Well, it's easily forgotten.
And it goes back to somewhere along the way, somebody either said you don't have to do this or that you can't do it, right? You don't have to do that. How many friends be like, I talk about this in class. I'm like, I am not your friend. I am your trainer. Your friend will pat you on your back and tell you, you don't need to go to the gym today. Literally. You don't need to do that. You don't need to, eat chicken breasts. Go ahead and eat half a cheesecake, whatever. You can do that, because I do that sometimes. But your friend, a lot of times, is a soft place to land, But I'm not there to do that. I'm there to level you up. Yeah. And I'm not that person that's going to pat you on your back and say, good job, were you not doing a good job, right?
Yeah.
And I would want somebody, not a gaslighting narcissist, but I would want somebody in my relationship to be like, you say you were running this ultra marathon. Go run. Yeah. I have a client that does that to me, actually. Her name is Angela. She literally get me on my ass about it. So on my ass. I do get a little mad.
Yeah.
Like, I do. I honestly do.
Yeah.
She's like,
what happened to my friend?
Yeah. She's like, girl, did you do your run today? And she's like dead in my eyes. It'll be in the middle of a training session. I'm training her.
Yeah.
And she's dead looking in my eyes.
It's kind of like when I'm the guest on someone else's podcast and I become like, I put on my like interviewer hat and it's just like, no, you're still the guest. Stop asking me questions.
Yeah. Yeah. She looks dead at me and she's like, you didn't do your run today and you said you would. And I'm like, oh my God.
So then what discerns a person that pushes you like that from a romantic person? Because all the qualities you described in a romantic partner is kind of like someone that people are qualities that you've seen in people that have pushed you along the way.
They're still there for me so I can cry, because I do.
Okay.
I don't cry a lot though. I'm not a crier. But there are times where like I just feel like I'm not working hard enough.
Okay.
And I get on myself.
So,
and I am working hard enough. I'm probably working harder than most people.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I didn't do a good job. And so like there are moments where like I feel broken. And maybe I just want to like curl up and like cry, you know. Or
you don't have friends that reassure you? You have friends that reassure you. That provide that shoulder for you?
Yeah, I don't really like, you know.
But you're looking for that.
There are times where I have cried. I've cried in class.
Okay.
But usually those are like, at that point when that happens, I am overwhelmed, right? Like I'm at the point where like I can't like hold it in. Is this gonna come out? If I'm talking and talking about it, it's coming out, right? Like you just can't help it. Whereas I'm at home and I'm talking about whatever issue it is, and maybe the emotion comes up like I need a hug, like that would be
a romantic partner.
Yeah. And that after I give my, do the hug and everything, and they're like, yo, babe, I love you. Like, let's go do something nice, Let's go take a walk and get a taco. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there is that part. And I love solo traveling, but there is something about solo traveling with somebody who sees the world the way you do, which is like, it's an experience. And I love going to places that are really raw. In
like Iceland?
Yeah, I love Iceland. Portugal was great, like a lot of history. And you go up to Sintra and you see all the castles, but you're walking a lot and you're doing like all of these things. But I love Tokyo too. I love like the tech, the like stuff, but I like the temples, and that you're looking at the world in this really beautiful amalgamation of like rawness and human emotion and human ingenuity.
So sharing those experiences.
Yeah,
I get that. Okay.
And being able to talk about history of it, or talk about, can you believe that somebody built that 200 years ago? What was it like to like, or build it 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, build it by hand? Like, what would that be like? Like, you know what I mean? Like, all of those things. That's a romantic partner who's on the same like wavelength as you. Yeah. Right? So I think that would be the difference.
Okay. Yeah, that clears it up. Yeah. I mean, I can see you bumping into someone on like one of your solo trips. Can you imagine? Like, were you you spent time in the Blue Lagoon, right? Like, can you imagine? Like in Iceland?
No, people were hitting on me.
Yeah,
I did.
That's what I.
Okay. No, I was like. No, that didn't happen. I was at Sky Lagoon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No,
it did. First of all, people don't know I'm 50, so that's problematic, right? So
why is that problematic?
Because I'm not dating some like 30-year-old. So like
you have 30-year-olds coming up to you.
Yeah,
amazing.
So a lot of people think that like they don't think I'm super young.
Yeah.
But they also don't think I'm 50.
No.
So that is like an issue because I'm like, I have integrity. And so I'm like, oh, how old are you? No, you need to be with someone, marry someone, or whatever that, you know, had a kids.
Maturity level, like what if they have the wisdom of like a 40-year-old?
That's great, but like go get married and have kids like somewhere else because I'm not just interested in like bumping like no. Like I don't need that, so it's fine. Like go do that with someone else, right?
Okay.
That's like the whole Tinder and like I'm not on that stuff.
Yeah.
Hinge, all that stuff. All the horror stories I hear, and it's just like people are on there to get booty. Right?
I think a majority of individuals are there for that reason, but I think as a wedding photographer,
some people aren't.
There are a lot of success stories.
Well, my daughter.
Okay.
And they've been together for over 5 years, and they're a success story.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stories are like, you know, wild. And I think my ex, he also met his person like that. So I think, and they're doing great.
Yeah.
So I think that like people can.
Yeah.
I'm just so disinterested in like meeting someone through like the online sphere.
Yeah,
I need to like meet you in person, feel your energy in person, see if we're vibing. But like that whole booty calls, that can I be frank?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Listen, guys. Now we getting real. This is a good podcast.
We're getting real.
We thinking it real. What physically can someone do to me that I cannot do to myself? That's why I'm a hard person to deal with. I'm like, what can you do that, like, why do you think I need your body? Like, why do I have to have an actual body attached to whatever is happening here?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
So I'm not devaluing.
No.
What I'm trying to do is say, have more value. Men always talk about high value women.
Yeah. Outside of their body. Yeah.
How about a high value man?
Yeah.
We hear all these terms: high value women, high value woman, high value woman. Fuck that.
Yeah.
How about you be something more than just some like, you know, dude that has money and has a good body and look decent? Because there's a lot of men that look decent and a lot of men that look very great.
Yeah.
You know, there's no
but
like top tier.
Everything else doesn't line up.
Yeah, it's all got to line up.
Yeah.
So I feel like with the whole like online like dating thing, it's just not for me. And then when I was in Iceland, this guy was like, "Are you on Fet Life?" I didn't know what that was.
What is that?
Fetish Life.
Oh, I've never heard of
another
that.
online like
what kind of fetish do you think they were into?
And I was like, what? I was like, I don't even know what that is. So I had to ask ChatGPT. I was like, ChatGPT, what is Fet Life? And then when it said what it was, and I was like, no, I'm not talking to you anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. So, no. I mean, the people in Iceland are great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's great guys there too. But like,
yeah.
You know.
So overall, what I'm gathering is that a romantic life partner or a life partner would be a nice to have, not a must have.
Yeah. And I know like people are like, when you be lonely, if you're constantly improving yourself and constantly investing in like things you love to do, how are you ever bored and lonely? I do wonder that. Like, I paint.
Yeah.
I also write creatively. I work out. I love to solo travel. I love to walk. I think it's a disposition, right?
Yeah.
I love to read. You know, if I'm watching anime, I don't want somebody
Some people can be alone and not feel lonely. Yeah.
Talking to me the whole time. Like, I'm trying to watch this thing. Like, don't do that. And like, you know, I'm like, I mean, I do talk during anime. I go with my friends sometimes to the movies if an anime movie comes out, and we'll be like, oh my God. Like, we talk a little. Yes. My cats give me oxytocin. Honestly, they do. And so, you know, I feel really good and content, you know. And so a romantic partner should be adding to each other.
Yeah.
Not just to
agree.
me. I want to add to them, you know. Like, I'm Creole, so I actually love cooking, and I love cooking Creole food.
So when you say Creole, are the components to that like generosity and selflessness? Is that what you mean when you say Creole?
No,
Like,
that's
of that
my
culture?
like culture.
Like,
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
yeah.
That's what I mean. Like the components of that culture are like generosity, and like you like sharing and giving, and
I love to cook. Yes, I love that. And I
Okay.
love cooking and telling stories. And, you know, that is part of, I'm glad you know about Creole culture. Yes. Like, if you notice, I say to people like, hi boo, how's your day? Right? It comes out. Or when I'm teaching,
Yeah.
you've heard me say this. Are y'all okay?
yeah.
Are y'all okay? And then one time somebody said to me, they were like, yo, your Creoleness definitely comes out when you think everybody's dying. In the middle of it, I'm like, hey, are y'all okay? Right? Like, I'm killing you. I want you to die, but are you okay? You know? So yeah, and then I love cooking. Like, I want to share my culture with that person just as much as, you know, they're sharing with me and inspiring me. So I would love to still give to that person. I don't want just like that person to give to me. you know?
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. No, and I think what's interesting is like in your later years, you already have kids. Like that's not like, I think people that don't have kids are kind of like it's not a race, but like they inherently feel like they have to get married in order to start building a family.
Yes.
And so there's this timeline that we have mapped out in our head of like, we got to get through dating, we got to get engaged, get married, do what we want to do before we have kids, and then, you know, it's like there's this timeline that's built into us.
Yeah, you're right.
And you're almost like liberated from that because you've done all those things.
I've done all those things.
So it's like you're whole. Like
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done all those things. And that's the other thing. Like, I do meet guys that are in their like 40s. 40s are okay. Everybody, 40s are okay. So guys are in their like 40s or 50s, but they haven't had kids. And men still have the ability to have kids, and then some of them want to have kids, right? I'm not doing that. I'm great. I'm not doing that. So like, and I don't even know, like, could I? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, some women do, I guess. But like, yeah. I mean, I think it's considered a geriatric pregnancy. So that's something like no. But yeah, they could still, like, they're not married, they haven't had kids, so they might say they might not want kids, but like maybe they do.
Yeah.
So then you got all this like stuff
Yeah,
going
that you have to
on.
unpack.
Yeah, so I'm just like, wow.
You're chilling.
Yeah, so you're right. I'm whole and I feel content. And somebody would have to really add something special to me. And I hope that I could add something special to them.
I love that, because in our 20s and 30s, I think people that are dating sometimes feel like they have to compromise themselves in order to find a partner.
Yeah. And I feel like in the fitness space, I see it so much. So women are constantly trying to make themselves smaller. Right? Don't be too loud. Don't get too bulky. A guy isn't going to like you. Don't be too this. Don't be too that. And that women constantly compromise what they look like, right? Getting fillers, BBLs, all these things in order to be someone else that someone will like.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, and men do it too, which is why a lot of relationships fail, right? Is that men have their own issues. Maybe a father who wasn't, you know, super nice, not nice, but just like very strict, or a mother who didn't pay attention to them, you know, and they have their own hurts. But in our society, right, they can't be that. They can't be that or work through that or talk about it. So they're trying to show up.
Yeah.
And when they're showing up, the way to repress that is to be hyper aggressive, right? Because you're trying to hold back. So instead you put on a super front.
It's kind of
right?
like the gym phase after being broken up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
You're
on
kind of
this
putting on
thing.
armor in a way.
Yeah. And like people put on layer and layer and layer of armor, and we don't know who we are as people.
And the masks evenally maybe fade as you get more comfortable.
As you get comfortable, then you're like, yo, this isn't the person is like, what? Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And so I feel like even we don't know who we are.
Oh, yeah.
And all of those sneaky things, when you get comfortable, right, your shadow side starts coming out, right? Carl Jung, your shadow, the repressed things that you have not dealt with begin to come out. And you have to have a strong partner to be able to say, yo, what? But you also have to be humble enough and strong enough to like receive that feedback, right? And think about it. And not that that person is right, but think about it, reflect on it, and say, you know what, maybe this is something I need to work on,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that like I would want to like be with somebody special, like, and if they had like issues, like we talk about it because I have my issues, and that we can grow.
Yeah. Is that too much to ask for?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. But I'm not afraid to be alone. So I think, and then that's the other thing that scares people who want to potentially date me, is that they have this sense that like...
That you'll leave?
That either I'll leave because I'm just like, no,
I don't need this.
Yeah. Or, I said that about somebody like with some gun. I'd be like, I'm out. This is not for me.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Or that they have this sense that like people want to be needed.
Yeah.
And they get fulfillment in being needed, and men particularly feel good
as a provider.
As a provider and a protector, that they're needed. And to be with someone that's like, I love you, but if you decided to leave, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not you. I'm not your body. I don't know like whatever you are feeling that makes you say like you also don't want to be with me.
Yeah.
But why would you force somebody to stay with you? Why would you have to convince somebody to stay with you?
Yeah.
So they get that sense that like if they left, I would be like, okay. And that doesn't make people feel good.
It doesn't. But I guess what's your stance on commitment? Like when you make a decision to be committed to someone, can that change? Or like does the integrity of a marriage no longer...
Well, yeah, like I'm not
Is that true
with
anymore?
my ex.
Right.
Yeah, like so if people are willing to work on it together, and there's honest, communication about trying to grow together and be receptive to things that are not making the other partner happy. And you're doing it together because you want to get back to that thing that made you get together in the first place. And one person isn't willing to do that.
Yeah. So they've kind of broken their promise.
Yeah, they are not wanting to work on it because they think they're fine.
Yeah. So that's when you're like,
and they're
I'm
like,
out.
I'm fine. They're like, I'm fine. You just don't think I'm fine. They don't want to listen to you.
Okay.
Right? They don't want to.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. And so at that point, you have to be like, either I'm staying with this person and they're going to remain like who they are.
Yeah.
Or, and I just have to accept that. Or I have to accept that they're going to remain who they are, and this is no longer healthy for me. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Because now you're not going to be authentically you. You're not authentically loving this person. I mean,
just resentment.
Yeah. So then you got to be like, this
That's
is
fair.
it.
Yeah. Boundaries.
Yeah. So yeah, so I do believe, there's commitment, but there's also a limit.
Yeah, like we still believe in the integrity of a marriage, but in that marriage, both parties have made a promise to grow together. And when a party has broken that promise, then I guess the integrity of the marriage has been broken.
Yeah. And I know that's hard are you Christian?
No.
Okay.
Kind of,
I was talking to
spiritual
some friends,
maybe. Yeah.
and they're like, I guess in Christianity, like that's...
Especially Catholics.
Yeah, like you don't divorce.
No, you don't.
And so, you got to stay with it, right? Yeah.
You got to fight through it, fight with them. You made a promise to fight, so fight.
Yeah.
That I get that too, but to what point, to what extent?
That to what point?
Like it's like saying you threw a towel in. You're giving up on your person.
Yeah. And you're giving up on yourself.
See, there's that perspective too.
Yeah, that deciding like I'm gonna stay, so I'm just gonna give up on me, also. And somebody might say that's selfish, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's
like
selfish.
there's
like
various perspectives.
Why would you do that? But I just feel like, within those faiths, like divorce and things like that, it's just like a no. So I'm agnostic. So.
On the last podcast, it's like life can feel short at times, but also it's like it can feel long at times. Like we're gonna, most people live till like their 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do in that time? And as Carmilla is approaching their 5th decade, it's like, what am I gonna do with the time I have left?
Yeah. So, okay, what do I want to do? So this ultra thing, right, is like a thing that I want to do. I want to publish, right, my novel.
Is this self-published?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. AI is writing so much stuff. Like, I just want to get it out.
Okay.
Right. You wrote it, get it out there. And I have 2 friends that are helping me.
Cool.
Grace and Alice.
Wow.
They are members at Midtown.
Oh, cool.
They're helping me with this editing and doing this process of it. I'm so grateful to them. Write a little thank you and the thing. So they're great.
Okay.
I would love to do that. I want to see a lot more of the world. I really want to go to Antarctica. See some penguins and do the thing. I want to see more of the world, and I want to keep pushing my own boundaries. I just don't see myself being like, I'm 60 or 70 and I'm just gonna like just retire.
No, I don't think anyone ever pictured that for you.
No.
But what boundaries are you trying to push?
Fear boundaries.
Fear boundaries?
That's one of them.
Fear of what?
Things that I think I can't do.
So physically?
Right? Physically and even mentally. So I want to do the EMT thing. So when we were talking about it earlier, remember what I was like, that summer one seems whack. Like, I would be.
Yeah.
I was like, I would be trying to take that test.
Fall and spring is my jam. So,
yeah. I was like, I would be trying to take that test. And what did I say? I said, I would be in that test and think, I thought I was learning stuff at that fast pace, and I know nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, is there an open book test? No. So I would love to like explore new modalities of knowledge.
Yeah.
I would love to get my master's degree in English literature. In English literature particular, not in creative writing. Because I feel like the research and exploration of different writers is really beautiful because you really start to get into their minds.
And is a master's degree program required for that, or can you chat GPT it to get what you wanted to get out of a master's degree?
I feel like that there's no fulfillment and just
in self-learning.
No, I love self-learning. I'm more of a self-learner. It sounds weird as a group fitness instructor that I operate better not like when they make you do those like you gotta do a team project, and I'm like, oh my god. Even in university I was like, I don't want to do that. Like I let me like do my thing and let me research my project and like let me just turn in my project. And that probably comes from the fact that I am not confident that the other people in my group
people
will
aren't
be
carrying
disciplined.
their weight. Yeah.
So that like stresses me out like big time. And I'm like, yo, my grade is based on
is dependent on the groups
on you right now.
I get that.
Yeah. So I could just chat GPT it, but I love the process.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I'm going back to school tomorrow too.
Yeah, I like the process structure of the hard. Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we read things on ChatGPT and then the internet or some article.
Scrutinize the validity of it.
Yeah, that, and then you read it, and because it was like a little nugget, and then you forget.
It's not as deep,
No, you're in class like studying, the teacher's making you write things.
That's true.
They're asking you questions. It's interactive.
Yeah, I agree.
So I want to go back for the interactive element, but also to get a mentor because those professors are your mentors, right? You go sit in their office and you're like, so I didn't understand, when in philosophy, David Hume was like, whatever. Therefore I am. Like, let's really discuss this. You know what I mean? Like you also listen to other people's viewpoints when you're in a class. They're asking whack questions sometimes. When you're like, yo, they were going to let us leave early. And now you asking this weird question, right? But that's part of the experience.
Yeah. It's different perspectives.
Yeah.
Awesome. Carmilla, that's it for now. I feel like we can chat on for three more hours.
And hours.
Is there anything else you want to mention before we hop off?
I mean, I would love to also take a jiu-jitsu class with you. I would be very scared, but overcoming my fears, what we talked about.
That Valco at Montrose and Western, there's always like 2, sometimes 3 girls that are in that class. So it's like they're always looking for more women in that class. But even if you rolled with the men, like I said, know how to gauge how much pushback and resistance to give, especially a white belt, especially when you tell them it's my first day. Like they won't drop you or kill you or like no one trying to get hurt. Like I'm just trying to provide reassurances on that front. So whenever you're ready.
I would love to go with you. It would be hilarious if we like filmed it because like when something shocking or new happens to me, most people don't see those moments, right? They see this, the refined me, the me that has put in hours and hours and hours of work of stuff, but like seeing
to be a student again, to be a novice,
and seeing my first of something, getting thrown, first of being like, how am I standing? Oh, what am I doing? What do
I do with my hands?
I went JC and 2 of our friends, Luis and Danny. We did a Spartan.
Okay.
It was the Spartan Super. Like, I didn't even know there was a Spartan Sprint. They were like, we're going to do a Spartan. That's how they said. I thought there was just one kind of Spartan.
Yeah. I didn't know that there were multiple.
No, there's multiple. Okay. So the Super is 10 miles.
Wow.
And I was completely stressed out. And there was one part, and it was like 50 degrees. It was raining, all this mud. We're running, and we turn this corner. And it's a giant swamp through the forest. And there's no way to get around it. And you have to get through it. And I was already had the shivers and stuff because we did a whole bunch of other mud and water things. And they ran on the other side. They just ran through the water. And they stood on the other side and they stared at me. And I stared at them. And I looked so sad. They said I looked devastated. And then I felt like I was Artax from the Never Ending Story. I was in the swamp of sadness, and I was like, this is the end of times. I'm sinking into the swamp, right? But people don't see those things of my first. Now if I did a Spartan,
I know what you mean.
I know what it's like, so I wouldn't have that kind of reaction. But so I think that would be fun.
Yeah, come through. I've been snapping photos of every class. So as soon as I feel gassed and I tap out, then I bring out the camera and I start taking photos of everyone else. So it'd be great. You'll get footage. You'll get proof that you dropped by.
Okay, I like that. And then you got to do a Hyrox.
Oh shit, yeah.
So I'm doing Boston on the 26th.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
And I have Chicago Hyrox.
Do they all Are they all fairly similar?
They're the same.
They're the same.
Just the arena looks different, but it's same order,
and
same stuff.
I saw someone kind of complaining about like the differences in turf for the sled.
During Hyrox World, like the way, it depends on how you lay the turf down.
Yeah.
So if you lay the turf down in the wrong direction,
it makes it harder, right?
Yeah, you're gonna get really bad friction, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what happened with that.
Wow.
And then I'm doing Hyrox Osaka.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So instead of going to Japan in November, I'll go in January and do it there.
I don't know why I didn't look it up last time, but like it kind of. Do you feel like it's replacing CrossFit? It's like in popularity, it's like I don't hear about CrossFit anymore. Yeah,
CrossFit. I mean, somebody died at the last CrossFit Games, right? Drowned because they added swimming.
Okay.
CrossFit became so popular that there weren't. Everybody wasn't. Like they made sure you had the CrossFit stuff, but like a lot of trainers were teaching CrossFit, and and people are just pushing the boundaries also of what they can do, but in a way where too fast,
unsafe,
and unsafe, and so people kept getting injured.
It's kind of like pickleball these days.
I know. I've never played pickleball. I know so many people that have torn their Achilles, torn their meniscus, torn their MCL, sprained their ankle, and I'm like, my body is like, no, I'm not doing that.
You'd be out. Like if you, like similar to an EMT, if you can't, like if your back goes out, if you're, it's like, what are you going to do?
I've fallen before. I tore my MCL on sweat in Corepower on somebody else's sweat. I slipped, I fell, my knee went in, foot went the other way. It was a wrap. And that took 8 months to heal. Although I did go back to teach after 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just hobbled my leg.
Okay.
I was like, okay. It's not broke. And then I started rehab. After a month, I was like, no. And I'm going to work out and I'm going to rehab this knee.
Yeah.
Not by laying here. I edited my swear. I'm going to rehab it by not, but CrossFit, it grew too big, too fast. Instructors weren't super trained.
Yeah.
And Hyrox is more functional. It's push-pull, right?
Okay.
Humans were made to push, pull, run.
So less Olympic lifting?
Yeah, you're just pushing a sled.
Yeah.
You're pulling a sled.
I see.
You're running. You're doing a ski, row. You're doing things.
It's more accessible then. Okay.
It's accessible, and the human body evolved from farming.
These functional moves. Yeah.
Functional movement. You're hunting. You're gathering.
Yeah.
You're pulling from the ground, or if you're pulling from a tree or wherever. Push movements. You're pushing a plow. You're pushing stones or boulders or anything like that. So reaching, pulling, rowing, right? Mm-hmm. Boat.
Are you still doing the upper and lower bodies at Midtown, or just the?
Yeah, I still do those too.
And then you're doing yoga now, and then the pit.
And the pit, I like the pit.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to hop in. Yeah,
that's more heavy lifting, no cardio.
Okay.
Barbell.
Yeah.
Cable. Yeah, I really like it. I like it.
Cool.
All right, so you're gonna do a Hyrox.
And I'll put it on the list.
Okay. All right. Fine. I want to ask you some questions.
Oh, okay.
I mean, can I interview the interviewer?
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
All right. What is the exercise you hate the most?
Burpees.
Why?
I think it's just because I'm not used to them, and they're hard. Especially burpees, when they were given to me, would be at the end of like a circuit or a workout, and so you're already gassed. And
it's
like
to blast you.
Right. So that I guess that's why. It's just like I have no energy left.
Okay, so you need to do the burpees.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you really look up to?
Who do I look up to? There's so many
who inspires
people.
you? Like the first that comes to your mind.
These days, I don't know if he's listening. He listens to some of the episodes, but I'm meeting him for dinner tonight. His name's Derek Tung.
Derek Tung.
Yeah. Okay. Derek Tung. He's been making daily videos, Instagram reels of like a diary, essentially. He's vlogging his life. And that shows me and people who's watching that someone and similar to yourself, as busy as you guys are, can have it all.
Okay.
So he's documenting the amount of time he's spending with his team, the behind the scenes with work. He owns Pauly G's Logan Square. So he
Oh, the pizza.
He introduced, like, to me, Detroit pizza to Chicago.
Okay.
But the amount of time he spends, like, he wakes up like at 4:30, like does a workout in his basement, and then the amount of time he spends with his wife and his daughter, like it seems like he has it all. And I guess I wouldn't have known that had he not made these daily vlogs. And so anytime anyone who's listening feels like, oh, I feel silly making these videos or sharing or vlogging or anything like that, I think the people that do tune in, not that your main, like we talked about at the beginning of the episode, your main goal shouldn't be to inspire and motivate, but I think if people are more so to document your process and your truth. And I think in doing so, it is inspirational. It happens to be inspirational when you share that you could have it all.
I love that. I love that. What don't you like about Instagram or social media?
Yeah, it's a love-hate thing with social media.
Same.
I think I wouldn't be where I am without it.
Same.
And I think at this point in time, I have liberated myself from it in the sense of I am no longer catering myself and the work that I put out there to some sort of fleeting algorithm. I'm not trying to play the game. I will post at midnight on a Monday or Sunday if I want to, like whenever the clip is ready. And it has taught me to kind of liberate or release expectations of other people. Like, just because you did something for someone doesn't mean they'll do it back for you. So as close as and small as the world can feel through the lens of social media, like, it keeps me connected to certain people that I probably wouldn't normally talk to. And on the other end of that spectrum, I know that if I was off social media, if you really wanted to connect to someone, you'd probably reach out via phone number, right? It's not that hard. It keeps me in touch with certain people for sure. And you know, this on a superficial level, you know, your first impression of, like, let's say my podcast page, you get the first impression of, wow, like the podcast it is great, it's blown up, like there's a lot of like heavy hitters on this podcast. And I think that on the egotistical side of me, of like, yeah, that I have put a lot of effort and energy into this, and sure, I've had some big names on the podcast, but at the same time, it's like, I think the purpose of the podcast is to share, like I said in the bio, like extraordinary dreams of ordinary people. And so it's like, I think the longer I do this, the less I care about someone's status or fame or what they could do for the podcast. Just because someone has 100,000 followers doesn't mean that I'm going to get any of those followers. So to me, it's like, what I've learned over this process is to care about the small things and to really stay present in the process and this, wherever I'm at right now. So whether that's this conversation or I'm producing an episode, to give it my all, because there were people that definitely said no to me in the past, and they give energy back to the people that have given you that energy.
That's beautiful.
And it'll eventually, karma will work itself out.
Yeah.
in that sense. And you know, it's like, it's balancing like long-term thinking versus like staying present. So like, I think it's natural for your mind to think about like, let's say, for example, what other people can I now come in contact to because I now know Carmilla?
Okay.
Like, I think it's natural for the mind to think about that, like this manipulative, like gaming aspect of like, just because I had this in-depth conversation with Carmilla, who can I now have access to? It's like, I think that's natural. But I think over time, it's like people can feel and sense authenticity, and they can sense when you're trying to game them or the system, and it's like, no one wants to fuck with that. Like, you don't want to.
You're 100%.
It's like,
yeah, I have like people and trainers that will like quickly try to befriend me, and I'm like, you sense it right away. You think that if we become friends or you're like close to me, that's going to, you're only doing it to benefit yourself. And you're absolutely right. I love that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think over time, I appreciate anonymity and privacy.
Yeah.
And that fame and status is not all that.
I agree. Because sometimes if I'm somewhere, and it's happened, I've been at Whole Foods looking whack. And you're like, Carmilla? And I'm like, yo, I look torn up, you know. I was throwing my garbage out one time, and I wear a bonnet, and it was filled with all the hair, so it was like this big. And I had my glasses on, and it was down my nose. Like, I looked all 50 years old. I had this furry, crazy pajamas on. Somebody's driving by. They wrote out, Carmilla, and I'm like, I was throwing out the garbage. Yeah. So, yeah, I think there's beauty in being authentic.
Yeah.
And I think that authenticity gives you some, you know, some privacy. Because you're not trying to please everybody, right? Like when you do your podcast, are you trying to, do you think about pleasing the people that are going to listen to it?
No, I think the only person I'm trying to please is the guest. So like when I'm producing the clips, it's like, is this clip a clip that the guest would be proud to show on their profile? If, you know, obviously I'm going to do the invite to collab post. Yeah. So is this something, a post that they would feel comfortable or even proud to have on their profile?
I did. I mean, so many people were laughing at that clip. They were like, that's so true. Like, you do that all the time. So like, yeah, that was like a perfect,
I think, and then, but before that, it's like, am I proud of these clips? And like, I think I limit it to that. Any more than that, then you become a people pleaser. And it's just like, it's a never ending game of like, who else can I please? Yeah. And it's never ending.
Never ending.
So yeah, I at this point, it's like, cause when the podcast first started, I wanted to be Gary Vaynerchuk and Tim Ferriss. And I wanted to create these clips that like, I would set you up. And we might have even talked about this on the first time. It's just like, I would set you up, like tee you up for a clip that I would eventually cut and clip and put out there.
Yeah.
And I think those clips naturally come out, but I'm no longer prioritizing those like teas. Like I'm not lining you up for that. Yeah. It just comes out.
It's just natural.
Yeah.
What is your worst moment? You don't have to name the person.
Okay.
But moment maybe for you or for them on the podcast. You could just describe the moment. You don't have to describe the person that you were just like, yo, this was not good.
I think in general.
I feel like you're holding back a little bit. You're like,
no.
Do I answer this?
I'll answer it. I think in general, there are conversations where my initial expectation was for the conversation to flow naturally. And some people whose my first impression from a superficial aspect would be like, I think we're going to have a great conversation based on what we've talked about in the DMs or how I've seen you operate amongst your own social media. And I'm like, yeah, this is someone I could have an in-depth conversation with. And then sometimes it just doesn't go that way. Sometimes like it feels like I'm pulling teeth. Like
that's
interesting. We have a 33-hour conversation.
Oh my gosh.
And like that's easy. And it's not always like that. Is what I'm trying to say.
5 hours. This is like a Huberman podcast. Yeah.
Except Huberman does it by himself.
Yeah, he literally does. Or he has a guest, right? And it'll be like 4 hours and 30 minutes. And you're like, I know. Now I got to do a lot of driving to like listen to it all.
Yeah, so I'm that's what I look forward to on my drives to jiu-jitsu, because in rush hour it takes me 45 to 50 minutes to get there. Yeah. So before that, I missed listening on podcasts. But so that's probably like, as far as like horrible things, like nothing horrible has ever happened during a recording. It's like maybe at worst, like someone, it just causes more work for me, would say things like, oh, I wasn't happy about how I said that. Like, can you cut that out or whatever? And, and like, I get that. Like, and I'll do that by request, but nothing terrible. And so I guess let that be a lesson as to be more intentional and discerning about who you choose to spend your time with. Ooh. Right. So like, you know, occasionally I have people reach out like, hey, I'll be in town. I'm going to come to Chicago next month. Like, can I hop on your podcast? Sometimes I'll say yes, sometimes I say no. Like, and it comes down to like, do I have the questions for this person? Are we going to have a a fun, comfortable conversation? Can I learn something about this? Like even before, like, can my listeners, like, I don't even have that many listeners. It's like, can I learn something? Like, am I going to have fun talking to this person? And, you know, sometimes I won't, sometimes I do. I don't know. It's just like, so it's like, be intentional about who you spend your time with.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's going to be my takeaway.
I'm sure you do. Like, you already do that.
I do. But you know what? When you meet people, sometimes you don't know. Like you just said, you said that earlier, like you think the conversation will go great.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah. So you try to be as intentional as you can.
And you know, sometimes, and you give them the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes it's like trying something new, like a food 3 times. I mean, maybe like you have to try it 3 times before you officially say, I hate this, or I don't like it.
Yeah. So a restaurant, you're like, you know what? No, I did this too many. This is not, it's just not good.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
These are good questions.
Thank you. Maybe I'm gonna. No, I don't want to do a podcast. It'd be ratchet.
Who? If you did have your own podcast, would you have like 3 individuals you would have lined up for the first 3 episodes?
Yes, that they would definitely. If they said definitely yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I even say, like, you know what I mean? Like, do I say these people, like,
or what are the topics? What would you like to yap about?
How I would interview David Goggins, right? For sure. And I think because he doesn't, in my opinion, after just watching, that he doesn't do it just for himself. He's just like, I do it mindset, push myself, da 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 da. That he also has realized that he inspires people with his authenticity. And that he wants to show people that they can do more. Right. So I would love to like ask that specific question, not just his mindset, but about inspiring others to like do things. Because when you watch, you're like, he can just go do his stuff. But like, he don't need to post. He don't need to do nothing.
I don't know if I don't follow him anymore, but like, I get the sense.
No, he has stopped posting.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like you can only show someone or talk about motivation so much before it's just like you're singing the same song over and over again.
Yeah.
And eventually you just have to keep doing it for yourself.
Yeah. I think he does it for both. Like, see how much he can do, but I think also to show people like they can accomplish things that maybe they thought they couldn't do. Or things that are like crazy hard.
I think
you think I'm putting too much in there?
I think you're putting too much into it. I think the beauty lies in the work itself, which both of you are doing. And so I'm curious like what that conversation would be like, because when you ask someone like David Goggins, like, how do you show up every day, David? And David's like,
I wouldn't ask
David's like, and I'm not saying you would, but I'm just saying they would be like, you just show the fuck up, like,
right?
Like
yeah,
that's it.
Exactly what he was saying. Yeah,
end scene, like end conversation, like that's it. It's like just show up. Like there's nothing, and to him, there's nothing more to that. Like, what else is?
How do
your
you
excuse?
Inspire the people who train with you? Because he does train people sometimes, right? So how do you inspire them? Because it's not just being like.
I wonder if the people that he trains is inherently motivated.
Well, yeah, they are.
That's what I mean. That's the conversation we had earlier.
But when they're like being all busted up, how do you get them to keep going? You
know, like there are levels to all types of industries and work that we're in. And when you get higher and higher, you find yourself in rare air and in the circle of people that want it just as badly as you do, like you do. Like savages find savages, and under that you won't really find savages.
I think this is really beautiful and kind of you. You're like, don't look up to that guy.
I'm not saying don't look up to him.
No, but you're like, you're doing the same thing. So like,
and what I'm saying is that beauty is in the work, and both of you are doing the work, and you're not doing it.
Okay,
your motivations for doing all the things you're doing Hyrox and ultras, like you're not doing it to inspire. Despite you saying that, I think you're doing it because you want to challenge.
I want to do it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I want to see what I can do.
That's what I'm saying.
And it just happens to inspire.
And it happens to inspire.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're not going to interview David Goggins. But since we said his name enough times, maybe he's going to watch our podcast and then he'll become a subscriber to you. Okay. All right. The good. Yeah. Let the algorithm gods put that on people's things.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
I guess the other person I would interview, you said 3. Oh my God.
Like, are there different industries you're thinking of, whether it's like health, wellness, or love?
I mean, I would like to interview if Huberman. So, you know, there was drama.
Yeah. like what, he was like dating multiple people or something like that. Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about it.
You think he wants to talk about that?
I'm authentic. I'm gonna ask. I want to know. We all want to know. We're gonna discuss it. Yeah. So no, I would interview him and his process of research, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he talks about his process of research. He talks about the research and the things he's reading and studying. But like, let's get a little bit more view of like your process of like studying the, neurobiology and this whole thing with the light. Actually, I have a funny story. I know we've been on this forever, but I tried changing out all my lights. Yep, I'm about to tell you, to the red lights.
Oh, okay.
So I changed out all the lights in my house to those red light bulbs. So at nighttime, I was like, okay,
pretty chill.
So I gotta turn on. No, I was like in a vampire coffin. I was like, my whole house is blood red. And then my cats, because, they only see specific colors. They were not happy. They looked so freaked out.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this isn't it. I packed them all up and I sent it back. But I would like to interview Huberman. Super smart guy. I want to know his process. And, talk about those things. Like, what do people have cats? What do people have dogs? What do people have birds? And, they're putting these red light bulbs in their house. Like, different things like that.
Yeah. That could be fun.
Yeah. It would be more fun, like cold plunges, right? Like, how's that, your thing goes inside. Like,
take them to Eastland.
Like, does that hurt?
Yeah.
Like, all these questions. Yeah. So, no, it would be more like
I would
fun.
love to see Huberman in one of your yoga classes.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And then do a walking interview, and then go do a plunge at East End, and then take them on a Chicago trip. Go get some good eats.
I always think that there are people I would love more than like having on a podcast, that I would love to come to my class.
Yeah.
And see like how they survive. I would love that so much.
A Carmilla boot camp.
Yeah, I would love that so much. Yeah, but I would like to interview Huberman, and then I mean, there's so many
I'm sure you've seen the documentary Dreams of Jiro.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was great.
I think in general, when you're like thinking of these people, like excellence or someone at the peak of their game is just attractive.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's kind of something that you described in a life partner, is like someone that is aspiring to be at the peak of their industry.
And they're secure in the fact that they are. So there's no anxiety. They still exude confidence with a calm. Because they're not questioning their work. They're not questioning the work.
But they're humble to know when it's potentially when there's new data.
Yeah, or they're humble enough to know and approach it knowing it's going to be hard, and that still allows them to approach it with calmness. This is going to be hard, and I'm going to go do it anyway, and I'm going to struggle, and I have confidence that I'm going to learn something new from it, even if I fail 1,000 times. That there's a confidence that there's something you're still going to gain from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and then I would interview you, of course.
Anytime.
Yeah, I would interview you. Yeah.
If the listeners aren't already following you, where can they find you?
And if you're not bored of 3 hours of us just talking about me being single, and, you know, you can find me at Studio 3.
Hey, okay.
At Midtown Athletic Club.
Yeah.
I'm also at another place called Ina in River North.
Yeah.
I really love it there.
Okay.
It's a different kind of vibe. A lot of women who are really into their journeys of like healing and finding out who they are. It's kind of a special place. And I'm at Body High Fitness on Division in Wicker Park.
Nice.
So yeah, that's where they can find me.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you'll see me running on the streets.
Training.
Yeah. Oh my God. I have to.
Yeah.
I can't do like a half marathon. I think a lot of people who work out could do a half marathon cold, just going out and doing it. But I don't, as ultra, like,
and that's coming from someone who's just as fit as you are, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah, I think that people could do that.
There's like different types of endurance.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. But I think that like the ultra cold would be that with no training.
Cold. I'm sure people do marathons cold too.
People do. They do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they do. But I feel like a marathon cold or ultra cold, I think that's a little bit something else. I'm not going to attempt that. Yeah.
All right, Carmilla.
Okay.
Truly a pleasure.
Thank you.
Till next time.
Thank you for having me.